All right. And we are finally live. LordCognito, Ebontis, Ty Guy Travis, fresh on that Thursday evening campfire. The last word returns. Let us start with the cheetah, Ebontis. How are we doing, sir?
Doing pretty good. It's going to be a fun chat tonight. I know it because, for one, Travis is currently in broken face mode. We've got a great guest that we will get to here in just a second. But overall, yeah, just been an interesting week, and Destiny continues to provide us things to talk about, so I don't want to spoil the show. But outside of that, just dabbling in a couple little games here. I thought about trying one, and then I saw the reviews, so that got pushed back a little bit. It was Solstice, just didn't come out looking too great. I think it got, it was all over the place, though. It got, because I played the demo, and I was like, I can't really decide. It's kind of some okay systems. ACG was okay on it, but like IGN was a 5, Games Radar was an 85, IGN Italy was like a 9. I'm like, how is it this far apart? And it was like, I could kind of see where it could go both ways. So,
which game?
It's called Solstice.
So,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was like, I think I would almost probably play like Steel Rising before that because my buddy said it was okay. I know you played it, and it's probably a little more Souls-like anyway. So if I dabble in the variety, that's probably what I'll do. But for now, just, yeah, I've been playing and keeping up with the world of Destiny, which is entertaining this week. Travis, what about you, man?
I have played very little Destiny because I logged on and saw that I had to kill 50 champions, and then I logged off. That is true. That is true. I logged on. I logged on. The first thing I saw was that objective, and I literally went lol and just closed the app. I was like, nope, not doing that. And then I saw that that Bungie changed it, which was fantastic. Anyway, I'm excited to talk about that.
Yeah, that'll be.
The reason I don't have time to play Destiny is because I'm working on my next review. My next review, I'm probably not going to hit the embargo because they gave me 2 weeks and I did not know that it was going to be a 100+ hour game.
Oh.
But I am over 100 hours in my next review, which is the 1.0 release of Grounded. And let me say,
I played. You took this in fantasy. Yeah, you took it.
My fantasy.
So here's the thing. I played the game 2 years ago when it first hit preview, and I went, meh, we'll check in.
Same.
And then a year ago, I played the Hot and Hazy update as a preview for Ryan McCafferty, and and that was pretty good. I was like, oh, they've done some progress. This game, I was not prepared for how much it has improved. This game has polish. This game is way better than I thought it was gonna be. It opens and I saw like an opening story cutscene, and I was like, okay, wait, hold on. This game's got a story now. Like I was not expecting that, and then. Needless to say, I've been playing a ton of it. I've been playing it with my fiance. She helps build our amazing house in it while I go out and kill ants and stuff, and it's just been amazing. So I'm really liking this game so far. Really liking it. 100 hours in. I'm very impressed. I am extremely impressed.
Okay.
Granted, Minecraft is probably my favorite game of all time, and this has some serious. There we go. That's right. And this has some serious Minecraft vibes to it, but with a more goofy kind of, setting and silliness. And it's just so creative. I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about it this much. I am under embargo, but I'm. Yeah.
I was going to say, be careful.
Careful out here.
Speaking of embargoes, the internet, we lost the YouTube.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I am not saying anything that you cannot currently experience in the game. I'm keeping it vague about the 1.0 changes. Aside from the fact that I said there's story, which I think that's announced. So all I'll say is I am very surprisingly impressed with this game so far. So that's what I've been doing.
Good to see the bar being set up. Cog. What have you been doing?
Oh, just all over the place,
I'm checking on my dog.
You forgot to feed the dogs today, guys.
About to feed the dogs. You know how that goes.
Them dogs,
DemonJoe, don't pass no by. We tease him when he says he's gonna go feed the dog. Then we say that's code for something else. But anyway,
okay.
That's the inside joke. Well, nah, man. Look, I've been rocking and rolling. I just did some fun episodes of Defining Duke with Maddie Plays, and we did an Xbox fantasy draft, what I thought was absolutely hilarious, and we had these real weird caveats. Grounded was one of my picks. So go check that out. That's up there. As far as gaming, you actually been playing a lot of Destiny. I've been playing been raiding a lot. Still a couple of weapons still elude me. No Touch of Malice, no Spider Marine. The damn Caiatl dungeon still won't give me the damn pulse. I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting frustrated with the poll situation, but I finally got my Time Lord's Fatebringer, so I'm very happy about that. That went down, and then this week obviously we have a lot to talk about. But yeah, I've been actually playing a little bit, and the other games, Deathloop, finally got a chance to get in there, having fun with that. I think I'm leaning your way, E, and
I was like, I'll be curious where you land on that one because I've heard the divisive internet, so I'll be curious where you land.
Well, shout out to Ducky in there. Yeah, he got me my Time Lords, the crew. No doubt, I see you. But but it ain't enough about me. We've got this amazing guest that's been very patient, E. Very patient. Gonna bring him in.
Welcome to The Last Word, episode number 216. Kings fall engaged hard mode, the daughters said no more rocket BS, and champions proved to be just too difficult. All jokes aside, though, the plundering story took a giant leap forward to expose dark secrets in ancient history. But we do have some topics I know will be full of opinions, and our guest today is never short on those. Do you want to know which weapons are worth going after this season? Do you want to know which perks you want to keep your eye out for? If you have seen his streams or checked out his videos, you already know he loves you. But we are here to chat with him and get to know him a bit more behind the scenes of this guest. So let's welcome a man who is always ready to give a hot take about any Destiny NPC, a fellow drinker of advanced GG and knows eggs are a great source of protein for gains and nothing else, and if you watch that stream, you know what I'm talking about. And his red hair will catch your eye, but his eyes will make you fall in love with his chill times, hilarious moments, and smooth guides. The one, the only, DemonJoe. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic, Ever since you slid in my DMs, a little bit back, I've been shivering with excitement to get on the Last Word podcast.
Wow.
Drop some hot takes like it's Twitter and just leave the decimated wasteland.
He's ready.
He's ready.
Waiting.
That's right. He's going to decimate it. He's going to reduce this podcast by 1/10. True.
Salute.
We're going to go back to episode 21 here in a minute. Start all over.
Oh, that's it. Oh, man, salute to you, Joe. Big fan. Watch your content. Love the perspectives. But we got to start from the beginning. We got to know how you got into gaming, sir. What was some of them first games and consoles you started to enjoy before you got to Destiny?
Well, the origin story is my background. If you're watching the live stream,
there you go.
A little Master Chief helmet, a little bit of Halo 3 back there. Funny enough, actually, I started on PS2. My dad was who got me into gaming. And one of my earliest memories, and, this probably isn't the most normal memory for someone who plays video games nowadays, but my first memory of gaming was whenever I was about 5 to 6 years old and playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And my dad, that was back in the day where there was actual cheat codes in video games, and you would need to input those. And I remember he got me a notebook paper and he wrote down all the cheat codes for San Andreas. I'm sitting there giving myself unlimited money, flying around in a jetpack and whatnot and all that stuff. So my earliest memories was back then. A cousin of ours, cousin in the family, then gives us an Xbox original sometime after I had first gotten into gaming in PS2. And then my first game on Xbox original, probably the same as most people, was Halo Combat Evolved. And of course, Halo Combat Evolved, then Halo 2, then got a 360, and then I skipped school the day that 360 came out.
Shout out to the Truancy Police. Salute.
Dude, I was skipping school every single time there was some big game release. My dad was like, as long as your grades stay good, you can keep doing it.
There you go.
Dude, your dad is such a bad influence. What a badass.
I love it. Beautiful. I like how they gave the caveat. As long as you hold it down.
As long as you hold it
down.
down.
Business
You get mysteriously sick on release dates. Go ahead.
Yeah, just mysteriously sick. I remember it happened with Halo 3. It happened with Modern Warfare 2, Halo 3 ODST. I was just big into shooters, and specifically Halo, which is why I play Destiny nowadays. And that's a little bit of my origin story. Halo's my jam. I love Halo. I love Destiny.
No doubt. Respect. Any Infinite lately, or just kind of not messing with that one?
Halo Infinite is a game. It's one of the games. It's one of the Halo games. It's one of them. And it's not one that I will play. No.
Oh, okay.
It is not one that I will play.
It is in fact a video game, you're saying.
It's a video game. I played it a little bit and then I was like, I'm not going to play it. So
Yeah. Okay, not fair. Enough,
Halo
fair
Infinite.
enough. I like the core, but we got to get people back. But what you got for the man? What you got for the demon?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, between, just kind of checking out your videos and everything like that. Obviously, it seems like Halo kicked you straight into Destiny with the Bungie continuation, I would imagine. But I want to know how you got started in like content with regards to what you cover and streaming. Which one came first? Did one lead to another? Just kind of wanted to see your journey there, and just kind of wanted to see if that was like a natural thing, somebody like shoved you into it, or just what was the content creator journey?
So just like many content, well, actually, I don't know how many content creator journeys start this way, but for me, it started as a kid that watched other people make YouTube videos and live stream, and then I was like, hey, I kind of want to do that. I had actually been watching Twitch back whenever it was still called Justin TV. Like that's how like long ago I was like into live streams and stuff. And then sometime after it became Twitch, I used to watch people all the time. I'd stay up like all night just watching these live streams and stuff. And my first ever stream, I was like 13 years old. I had a PlayStation 4 at the time, and it has like a built-in live stream feature. And I remember what first got me into streaming was I played the PS4 version of Minecraft, and I'm like, dude, I'm sitting here building all this crazy stuff. Like, dude, I mean, at the time it looked like ass, but to me, I was like, dude, this is insane. I need to show people what I'm doing. So I started live streaming my Minecraft world on PlayStation, and I did that for like a long time, and then I ended up getting hooked into Destiny, and so then I started streaming some Destiny, and I actually did end up getting like, I would average like 20-30 viewers, because on PlayStation there was a specific app called Live from PlayStation, and it would only show people that stream on PlayStation. Nowhere else. Only on PlayStation. And so you would actually get decent viewers on there, especially if you're just a nobody. And I'm just sitting there like a little kid with a lisp. I still have like my first ever Twitch stream up on my Twitch channel that you can go back and watch. It's so cringe, but I have it. And I got into Destiny, and I started streaming that. And then after I streamed Destiny for a while, then I started making videos on it. And then it went from Destiny. I was making content on Destiny 1 since vanilla. And then I went all the way until Curse of Osiris for D2. And then, we know how D2 went. We're like Destiny 1 Age of Triumph, like the greatest the game has ever been. And then in my head, and in the heads of a lot of people, we were like, dude, Destiny 2 is going to build off of this. It's going to be Age of Triumph, but better when D2 comes out. And then it was worse. No more private matches, no more special weapons, no more this, no more that. Taken away. Clean slate, you ain't got nothing. So then I was like, hey, I'll just wait, maybe Curse of Osiris, it's got to be better, right? I mean, it's got to be. They're bringing Mercury, dude. Mercury's so cool. And then it's like the size of a big Crucible map with an infinite forest, and then that's Mercury. And so I quit. I took a break from Destiny after Curse of Osiris, and then I started making Fortnite videos.
Oh,
and,
hell yeah!
And then I started making Fortnite.
You look
content.
like a Fortnite guy. I can see that.
Do you have a skin?
Do you have a
skin in Fortnite? Yeah. Is there a DemonJoe skin in Fortnite?
Google everyone in chat right now. Google it. Google Fortnite Sugar Plum. Literally me. It's me. It's my icon skin. All right. Okay. It looks just like me. You can't tell me it doesn't. Ebontis, can you put it on screen? I know you're running the behind the scenes stuff. Just in case people haven't seen it.
I see something. Oh, okay, but no.
Yeah, I'm like, are we talking about the re-release of Avatar?
The Avatar. Okay, I get it.
I was like, there you go. So hopefully you can kind of see what he's working with here.
That is you, yeah.
Yeah, he's got
it looks just like me,
basically,
dude.
The connection is all about the glasses, and then he's got the hair.
Yeah.
Now, where is the like elf cap? Where's
the massive muscles? They forgot to add those.
He's a humble man, by the way. Our guest today very humble.
I used to get clowns so much for looking like that skin.
No, they ain't do you like that.
They did me
that's
like that.
cool. Oh.
Just like with any joke, though, if you embrace it,
Oh,
it
yeah.
doesn't matter.
There you go.
You gotta
There you
embrace
go.
it. That's,
You
so
gotta
that's my
embrace
icon
it.
skin.
Smart.
You know, I tried to do that in high school. Didn't work out for me. Let's just put it that way.
Well, that's why I eat all my chicken boiled. So that's just how it goes.
Oh, don't say that.
It's true. He eats all his chicken boiled, and Cog cooks his chicken in NyQuil.
Oh,
Not see that
wild.
coming. Whoa.
You see that? Yo, that's crazy out here. Woo. That was fun.
The FDA had to
they
issue
had
a
to
warning.
make a
that was
So,
bad.
yeah.
Please do not. I can't. For one, please, God, who don't do that. But two, I cannot
Never heat up NyQuil. Don't cook
It's
NyQuil
like
at all.
I cannot picture, for one, what that does to like the medicine, but two, how bad can that taste? Like
Taste.
that's just
Cog. Whenever you have a hard time understanding why E doesn't like sauces and spices, just imagine that he sees all sauces as NyQuil.
Exactly.
It's just on his food, and
Yep.
maybe that will give you some empathy. I don't know.
No, I do.
We'll see.
I do.
Yeah.
I used to be like when I was younger. I used to build myself up mentally when I didn't think I would like something,
Yeah,
and it'd be the worst possible outcome. And I think that's what it is.
there you go. There you go.
We do
Ooh,
have a
back-
question.
back
How
to-
old is Joe now?
Oh,
Who's asking that?
Can I guess?
Who's asking? Yeah, guess. I got
19.
nah. I
Higher.
think you be 24.
You look exactly like I looked when I was 19.
I am the ripe old age of 22.
Oh, 2-2. Dudes.
I wasn't that
I'll
far
be
off.
23 December 1st.
Oh man.
I
Yeah,
always
this
get
podcast
comments.
just felt older.
Dude, what if he straight up told you he was 62 years old? What would the reaction be?
Then you are now going to be studied medically to figure out
Yes.
how your skin has maintained this wonderful, glorious.
He's like, guys, I
baby face at
moisturize.
60 yeah,
I
just
moisturize.
You guys
I'm the
all know
one
who it
white
is.
person who moisturizes. It's the only reason I have the skin.
Messy. Who is that?
What about you,
forgot.
Travis?
Yeah,
Any
Travis,
questions
Travis.
for our guest here this evening?
I notice your background. You got a little helmet there. I have it. You
Helmet.
can't see it because it's behind the green screen, but I got one too.
Mhm.
Halo poster back there.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk, baby girl. What's going on with
Yes.
what's
Okay,
going on with
bro.
Halo? You BXRing? Actually, no, that's probably before your time. What was your first Halo? Halo 3?
My first game was Combat Evolved. What do you mean?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Bro,
You
I
said
was
that
on
already.
the train from launch.
Bro, how
Halo.
old were you when that game came out?
Not that old, but I was
How
playing
old?
it.
He was
I
playing
how
Grand
old?
Theft Auto when he
When
was
did-
in diapers. Okay, let
It
this
came
man
out
play.
2001,
Let
2000.
me see when Halo Combat Evolved came out.
I think it was 2001.
It's like if you're 22 now, what?
Yeah, it was 2001. I was like 5 years old playing Combat Evolved. Okay, but I'm telling you, I was ass.
Bruh.
I played it. I beat all the Halo games, even though
Wow.
recently, before Halo Infinite came out,
He was one. Yo, so-
I was literally
What is wrong?
1 year old.
What?
I was just like in the Halo TV show. I was fucking the Covenant. I was literally clapping cheeks. Okay, Master Cheeks was up in there.
If you guys want to leave a comment, if you listen or watch this one, just do hashtag he was one.
he was one.
He was one.
yeah,
He was one.
And if you see us on Twitter, tag just he was one. That's the hashtag for this week.
What if he was like, it came out on my birthday? That's the day I was born. That would be
Master
great.
Chief. Yeah.
Okay, so you did play Halo 2 then,
Yeah, I played
as a somewhat developed human being.
a little bit,
with
like
a few
so
motor skills?
before Halo Infinite came out. Like to put it in perspective, before Halo Infinite came out, I got on MCC and I played through all the campaigns solo heroic because I didn't feel like bashing my head against the wall with Legendary because you gotta play Legendary with friends, bro. You can't play Legendary by yourself. That's lame.
I always play it
You
alone.
mean campaign co-op with friends? Yeah.
yeah.
I
campaign-
always play Legendary
Weird.
alone, bruh.
Imagine like not having campaign co-op. That would just be
Unreal. Right?
with Halo, dude. I mean, never heard
Oh,
of that.
I know, but everyone set the
It's like there was this
precedent.
precedent before or something. Man,
Yeah, I mean,
We
I
did
don't
Isn't
know.
it just not couch co-op?
It,
I mean,
co-op's
They're
still
still
not
gonna
out,
have
though.
co-op.
Yeah, they're gonna have it eventually
a year
after people have already
launch,
beat
whenever-
it,
Yeah,
and everyone already knows the story and every, But I replayed through all the Halo stories. I as a young adult, so that I could, get all the lore and all the tidbits and get ready for Infinite. And then Infinite was just so mid, and I
Really?
didn't even like the campaign. Like the
Wow,
campaign,
you didn't like the campaign?
it was fun, like gameplay wise, but like as far as variety, there's like 3 biomes. You got like a plains forest, you got banished, and then Forerunner, and then everything else just looks the same. There's no deserts, there's no cool alien stuff that isn't Forerunner. There's just grass, red buildings, and Forerunner tech, and that's the whole game. And it just gets so boring to look at, and it made me so upset.
Wow.
It made me so upset. But
But
that sounds like a fair criticism from what I've heard.
It did introduce the Razorback, and then allows me to get 5, 6 Marines, and then give them rocket launchers and sniper rifles and just drive across the Halo ring and just.
That's part of Infinite. Love that.
That was fun. That was really fun. But the multiplayer was okay. They think they're taking it too seriously, man. There's not any infected. There's no griftball. There's no the Halo. In my opinion, was always a party game first, and then competitive second. But then they're like,
they're doing that. I mean, I guess if you compare it to Destiny, it still feels like a party game.
Yeah, I don't know. 343 makes me sad, so I'm not really big into Halo anymore.
I feel you. No, that's where you're at. That is where you're at. So moving on. So then you're doing the like I said, you're doing the whole thing.
2 betrayals.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like hearing him talk about Halo now. 2 betrayals. Anyway,
you know what I mean. So you stay with this franchise.
Star Wars is on the tie. So we're getting new Star Wars today. Somebody in the comment asked. So
also in the comment. Oh, there it is. Yeah, with that Star Wars tie, you already know.
That's right.
So when I know obviously Bungie and the history, but when did Destiny really get on the radar for you?
So I
was at my 8th birthday party.
I was at my 8th. I was 2.5. Right.
You're probably not wrong on that one, or not too far off. That's so great. I'm just gonna go ahead and crawl in my grave early now that I'm about dying over here.
Oh man.
It was after they released Halo Reach. That was a pretty big release for me. I was one of those Halo players that I know a lot of people gave Reach flack because of the bloom and stuff, rightfully so. That was frustrating, and change in art direction and whatever. But I really enjoyed Reach. Me and my friends always played custom games and yada yada. And that was Halo 3 was the game that if I wanted to play seriously, I'd play that. And then if I wanted to play party games, friends would always hop on Halo Reach and we'd screw around. And then Bungie ended up announcing, obviously, way later down the line, next gen consoles come out. 2013, everybody's getting PlayStations because nobody was buying Xbox because the whole always online thing. So me and my buddies, we went from Xbox 360 to PS4 because we were like, dude, this Xbox One stuff, I don't want none of that. And so Bungie started talking about their new game, and I had heard, hey, the alpha's coming out for PlayStation. This seems pretty cool. So I played the alpha, and I was like, this is pretty cool. So, I mean, ever since I played the alpha, I played the beta. Vanilla was lacking, I will admit, and I wasn't impressed with vanilla. But, I took a break. I played it whenever it came out, and then I took a break for a while, and then they came out with the Dark Below. And then for some reason, that's what hooked me. Ironically, Crota's End was what got me hooked.
Loving you.
Because Crota's End is objectively a terrible raid, but I love it.
I'm loving you now. Bring it in.
Hey. I think Crota's End is objectively horrible, but my God, some of my best memories come from playing Crota's End.
He loves you again. He's back with you again.
And by the way, he's using the millennial definition of objectively there. Which means, of course, subjectively. It contains its own antonym.
No. It is objectively ass. Yeah. I will not be told otherwise. I am here with the hot take. That's not even a hot take. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's ass. Anyways, Crota's End, my beloved.
You have fun.
I love it. I loved it because it's hey, we don't have 6 people online. There's only 4 of us. Let's just run a Crota's End real quick, Let's do that. We'll do some Vault of Glass later when people get on. And it was raids. Raids got me into it. So whenever Crota's End came out, and we had a little bit of variety between Vogue and Crota, and then House of Wolves was on the horizon and stuff, that's what got me hooked. And then Taken King was like, yeah, you love this franchise for the rest of your life. You're just, you know,
that was it.
screwed.
We had our chest out. Yeah.
Even after I took a break from it, like I was always on, like Destiny was always on my radar. After Forsaken came out, I remember like being hyped for the game. Like I wasn't playing at the time, but I remember looking at it and I was like, man, that seems really cool. But then I saw like an Activision sales call and they were talking about how disappointed they were by Forsaken. Yeah. And I remember that ticked Bungie off a lot. And it ironically, when I did come back to Destiny, it was Season of the Worthy, which I think we all know is just 10 out of 10 season. It's so good, right? We all love Worthy. But I came back because I had heard that Activision had left the game and like Bungie was by themselves. And I know that a lot of people will argue, you know, well, we're not getting, you know, as much content because there's not as many companies that are working on the game and stuff. But like for me, like all I can think about when I think of Activision is Destiny 1 releasing half-baked, you know, and in a terrible state, and then Destiny 2 coming off of Age of Triumph, just nearly killing the franchise. And I'm like, dude, I don't like Activision, at least that, you know, at the time, and still now, I assume that's why they launched in the way that they did. And so whenever I heard that Activision had left, I was like, yeah, I'll give Destiny a try. And Worthy and Onward, I've been playing like a lot, so...
Nice. Nah, salute, man. Tremendous history. A lot of the ebbs and flows that are recapped of the franchise, and to see where it is. Interesting that raids were kind of the thing that got you in. And I'm totally with you as far as Age of Triumph. The way D1 ended, in my opinion, was like very Pinnacle level stuff. You know, I remember the cool armor sets like that was so ornate when you did all the raids, right? You know, the King's Fall armor, they redid Vaulted Glass, had like Wi-Fi antennas on the Warlock. It was like lit. I was like, yes, this is what I'm talking about. This is how I want to feel. And you thought it felt like a no-brainer. You couldn't mess that up. You already had and then D2 came, and we all know the initial story. I mean, it was like a honeymoon. We were happy, and then the wart started to reveal itself. You're like, ah. But yeah,
it's just like frustrating because it's like we see like this is what peak Destiny looks like. Like we get to see what it looks like, and then we immediately just drop down. Like I remember for years people were like, let's get private matches in Destiny. And then D2 launches without private. Like, what is going on? You know? Yeah. So it really killed it for me. I was like, there is no shot that they don't build off of how they ended D1. And then they just threw it all away, and they're like, here's another bare bones experience. See you in a year for content. Thumbs up, you know?
And then the cycle continued. Then they came back, Forsaken and all that stuff. And it's funny game, man. Well, I want to talk to you real quick, I know before we move on, your content, because definitely huge fan of the content, the breakdowns and stuff like that. The tiering, you know what I'm saying? I saw you, like, I love that stuff. So, like, what was the mindset there, just kind of like creating content? Because you have a good like analytical style, but you always throw the humor in it as well.
So when I came back in Season of the Worthy, like I had been playing Destiny for like 4 years or whatever before my break, and then I came back and I was absolutely lost. Like I'm like, yeah, I've been playing this franchise like a big portion of my life, and then I come back in Season of the Worthy, and I'm supposed to be a seasoned player, veteran player, and even I don't know what's going on. So, like a while passes, my friends are teaching me because they're the some of the people that were kind of egging me on, like, yeah, we've been playing Destiny, we know how you used to make videos on it, check it out. And so, whenever I got into the game, I was absolutely lost, and I'm like, as I got a better understanding for the game, I was like, how the hell are new players supposed to know what guns are good, what perks are good, why they're good, what good and what kind of content? Like, is Swashbuckler going to be great inside of like day one raids and, a Grandmaster content? So that's why my content centers around the loot specifically. And I just really get excited whenever they release really cool new weapons and stuff like that. So it's a passion thing, but it's also like, if me as a person who's been playing this game for a while, I come back after taking a break, and if I'm lost, I can only imagine what completely new players are like they're getting these drops and they're seeing these random perks on it, and they, for one, they don't know what other perks you can get, because if it's not craftable, it's not like you're going to be able to see unless you go to a third-party website. Bungie, please. And so that's why that started, as far as like what kind of content I make. And then as far as the whole throwing in humor here and there, I'm like, I don't know, just a little bit of personality. Like, I just don't want to be like a robot every single video. Get this, get that, good here, so this how you farm that, you don't
like the Ebontis method?
What?
Man, like that.
My man is going for his throat.
Damn.
And that's this week's episode of The Last Word.
Let's go.
Tune in next week. Minus Travis.
Tune in next week. We may be missing someone and looking for rotating guest hosts. We have appreciated how long you guys have enjoyed his time.
Funny if we just threw it up.
Deuces. Joe's like, is that the normal length of an episode? It seemed a little short. No, that's totally normal.
Just a little bit.
Travis has been removed from the group DM.
Sorry, I love you.
No, but I mean, that actually is. We've talked about this. Honestly, I feel like almost kind of on a weekly basis now. The new player, for whatever reason, keeps coming up. I mean, and you mention it now. I mean, there's even things right now in the game that are just got to be utterly frustrating. Mods. Just this horrible system to try and accumulate all of these mods through like a couple of vendors. And then it's just on this weird rotation. They don't sell it for 3 or 4 months. I'm like, yeah, so there are, and then, well, as you said, the story isn't all available and all those other things. No, we've been going on and on about the new player experience, but even for you coming back, that's a prime example. You're like, I played this thing for years. You come back, I missed stuff, but how do I go find it? You can't go see all of it. I'm sorry? Like, it's not a great experience in certain ways. And again, as we get into year 6 of Destiny 2, and then, we're at this point, we got 2 more, 2 more expansions coming up. It's just, it's a weird time to tell people the franchise is at a really good place at times, telling really cool story beats. When you get the weekly stories put together, the expansions are just going to be, they're fantastic. We'll see if Lightfall can do it again, but Witch Queen is definitely amazing to jump into. But even Cog's co-host, I mean, I was joking with you offline about it because you were saying, hey, he needs to come in. And I'm sitting there and you were saying these like onboarding things, and I'm going, I don't even know if that's enough, because what it is not really going to like be the be all end all for a new player, even then. But it's like, there are people who they see the Lightfall / Lightyear trailer, which, man, that font stealing is kind of terrible. But they see that. I mean, even a buddy of mine who has not played in years, kind of like you took a break. He was like, all right, yeah, trailer's still fire. I mean, that's the stuff they see, but you tell them to come back now. You're like, hold on. I got this YouTube playlist. You're going to go ahead and need to sign up for about 1,000 episodes of One Piece. No, I'm just kidding. I don't even know anime, but I've just heard that has a ton of episodes. That's like what it takes to get into this. It's a great story and world, but there's not a place to readily get all of it now, which is unfortunate. Which is kind of what I wanted to take us into, was this week. We had been waiting week after week after week after week. I'm like, I wonder if we're going to get a cool story moment this week. And boy, did we ever. So when you logged in, first off, can't even talk about the story beat because the quest begins with a fun little step. So Travis, I'd like you to tell us how your week with Destiny, once again, how did that go for you?
Yeah, so I logged onto Destiny. I talked a little bit with Misrax, and then a notification popped up on my screen that said, kill champions. And I went, oh, that's interesting. I wonder how many champions I have to kill. And then I opened my quests tab and I saw it was 50 champions. I laughed heartily and logged off. I have not logged on since. I hear that they auto-completed it for me, and I'm very happy because now I'll get to see the story for the week, and I did not plan on it. But I still have not seen it. So I don't know if that ruins the episode, but it sounds like this is a big story week. So
yeah, it is.
It is a big week. So Cog, what did you? I mean, there's multiple different takes about this thing, depending on your access availability to friends to play with, to LFG, to solo players, and all these other things. Where did you land on this one? Because I know you got a pretty active clan.
Yeah, look, I mean, crazy week this week. Everyone's telling me the story's fire. So I'm like, all right. So I get on, and you do the first part of the quest, whatever, and then I got my little notification. What's the next step? And I'm like, I know that ain't say 50 champions. I was like, what? So I was like, nah. So then I thought I saw someone on Twitter say, no, it's only 5. Y'all calm down. So I said, oh, it's just a glitch with the UI and the verbiage. So I'm just gonna go in there, kill 5, and I kill 5. And it still said you got more to go. So I said, oh, hell no. So I'm like, all right. And here's the thing. It was one of those weeks, like I had my mind set to play on Destiny Wednesday or no, Tuesday. It was Tuesday when it came. I was like, Tuesday, now that's my Destiny. I want to get the story done. I got all this other stuff, all these other games I got to do. And me and Maddie going at it and all other stuff. So I wanted to get things done for Wednesday. So Destiny was Tuesday reset day. And I'm like, all right. So people like, nah, you got to jump in master. And that's how you got to get it. And I'm like, all right. And at the time it was late. A lot of the clan wasn't on. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to utilize Xbox's in-app LFG, for the first time. I was literally lucky. I went search and someone had 4 people looking for Master Cat or Catch Crash or whatever. I said, oh, me, get me in there. And he had no mic. So I was like, all right, cool, fine. I don't need to talk to nobody. Let's do it. And we just, we survived. And literally it cleared immediately, like 2 or 3 champions, and I guess it didn't. It counted for more.
They're very heavily weighted in there.
Yeah. So I looked at it, I'm just like, but damn, like, how is a new person supposed to do that? Like, how is a person that's not knowledgeable and you really into the story? What's going to happen to you? And here's my mindset. On one side of it, I'm like, okay, I like them encouraging to do master on some level, because I'll be honest, most seasonal content comes out when they have their master version of it. I'll be honest, I don't do it unless the reward is really nice or there's some type of loot incentive. You know how I am. I'm team loot. So I look at it like, And so on one aspect, I like that they're trying to incentivize, but on the other aspect, it's like, then why are we making it no matchmaking then? You know what I'm saying? At this point, it's like, what are we really trying to accomplish with that in these activities that are limited run, right? They don't even last long. So that's just my mindset with it. But yeah, I feel for a new person because as we're going to talk about, the story was absolutely fire. And this was literally a deterrent to the story. So I did the thing. And then the next day I'm like, they really unreleased it, and now they auto completed it, and now everybody can do it.
It wasn't even I agree with you, Cog. It's a little weird that a casual player should be expected to do a master activity that requires getting a party and all that stuff. But even if that's what they wanted to require, fine. The messaging was terrible. Yeah. The mission objective should have been do one master catch crash, because realistically, no one's killing 50 champions. No one's doing that, right? And so make that the quest then, and then people go, okay, I just have to do one of these things now I have to do it. But like my thing was, I logged on and I was just like, kill 50 champions, master catch crash count as more, and I was just like, no, I won't do that. And literally, I tweeted at it like lol. And then, like a couple hours later, they changed it, and I was like, "Yep, I thought they might." That's why I didn't bother with it. I was like, "That's going to get auto completed." I've seen this before, because they're not going to let people skip the story. You know what I mean? They've done this before. So
same tweet as your response.
Oh, he did.
Tassie literally he screenshotted it. It was like, Bungie, what? Like it was one of them kind of vibes. Like, well, you can't be serious. Like, hey, hell no. It was the same energy. Yeah, it was weird messaging. I agree, but I want to get the rest of y'all thought. This was funny to me.
Joe, what was your take like?
Like for me as a player, like I didn't care because I have a clan to play with if I want, and every single time Bungie releases seasonal content and they give it like a master version, 9 times out of 10, there's no reason to do it. It's just there for the title, and that's about it, And so I was like, that's kind of cool that they put a master, catch crash thing in there to get this quest done quicker, because I'm like, hey, there's a reason to do it. If you like the story, you can do it. It's a multiplayer game. I don't think it's a massive ask to ask people to get with a group, but like Cognito said, not everyone is like that, and it's just the story. So like people who are keeping up with a seasonal story, they're not really interested in like needing to LFG so that they can continue to see what's going on with the story. So like, I mean, I can sympathize with players and stuff. Like I get it. It's just I'm not really up in arms about it because, like I said, like I play with a clan. Bungie promotes the game as an MMO, and so I treat it like an MMO. If they ask me to do something that's going to require a group, that's not going to surprise me because they call the game an MMO and they expect me to play with other people. So I'm fine with that. I think my biggest problem though is kind of goes back to power level because I don't do pinnacles ever. Like ever. I don't do pinnacle. I don't purposely do them. If I get stuff that's going to level me up, I'll do it and I'll get it, but I'm not going to be like, "Oh man, I need to go play preservation right now. I need to get that pinnacle. I need to go get the pinnacle from strikes. I need to go." I hate power leveling. It's one of the worst things in the game by far, and I've never purposely power leveled, not once ever. I just play the game naturally and I level up. And Master Catch Crash, I don't even know if I can run it right now. Like, I haven't checked because I haven't done the story yet. But if I, can't, right, then that if I wanted to, then Bungie is like, okay, go do some of the most monotonous activities in the game so that you can then do the story, right? They're like, okay, so go run the strike playlist, which we don't upkeep and make sure there's new and interesting ways to play strikes. Go play Crucible, which we completely ignore and neglect and make worse week after week. And then go play Gambit, where we came out with a rework and managed to make it worse than it was previously. Go get your pinnacles and then hop into Master Catch Crash. So, it's...
Are you implying that the core activities need work?
No, I would never imply that. They are perfect.
You imply that all three of them are not in the greatest state?
Improving the core of the game, that is simply just... No, that doesn't need to happen at all.
And these are the activities they want us to require us to play to do the new stuff. That is an interesting thought that you have. Wow.
So my take, me as a player, I don't care. But I can sympathize with other people because, I mean, it is kind of bullshit. Let's be honest. It's bullshit. You can't just say go kill 50 champs for a story. If it was like if it was a weekly challenge or something, I'm like, dude, you got like 4 months to do it. Okay. But it's a story mission. And if you want to see what's going on with the story, you don't want to, go on a, 5-hour adventure killing 50 champions before you can, listen to dialogue. So, it's for me, it's not a big a deal, but I can 100% sympathize with other people.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been watching, literally seeing all the differences of opinion here in chat, and I've seen all the takes. And it's the perspective of where are you coming from as a player of Destiny? Do you have an active clan that's going to be playing when you're going to be playing? Cool, you can knock it out in a Master Catch Crash in literally like 5 champions or something. It's going to be done really fast. Are you a solo player and a parent who has like maybe an hour after the kids are put to bed to try and log on and be like, all right, cool, let me go do my override. I've got some of my currency and then I can do my hideout and see what the story is this week. It's kind of my little getaway here for about an hour. And you log in and you see that kind of wall, depending on how much you play, depending on how aware you are of the best places to see champions and stuff like that, it's a thing. And it's also, we're in a season as opposed to an expansion. Expansions, people are typically much more active. There's a lot more things that are kind of fresh to do, ways that you want to do these newer missions for pinnacles and things that you were mentioned that you're naturally probably just going to play, as opposed to some people that are going to, just maybe tune in just to see the season every week. Maybe as, somebody's at the point where Joe's at, where he's like, I'm kind of tired of the powerful grind. I don't even care. And that's the other thing. It's master. So you're saying now you got to put in time, literally, whether it's through bounties or pinnacles or something, to be a higher level so you don't walk in there and kind of get, squished by any of the fallen or whatever in there. And then you come into this experience where you're like, okay, I've been taking the season casually and now I'm punished for it because it wants me to either go do a master activity. It's not match made, and there's a whole debate on many of the higher level things that probably should have matchmaking as an option. And then on top of that, it's like, but then the other people are like, well, hey, yeah, just go to LFG. Depending on, maybe you can't turn on a mic because there's like a kid like sleeping in a room close by and you have to listen. There are many options. There are many reasons why this didn't go over well. I can understand for some, it's easy. LFG, not that hard. One Master Catch Crash, totally get it. Theoretically, that's not that big of a deal. But depending on if somebody is, you know, in a quiet part of the season, the story, having a story beat that usually is fairly quick, have a wall like this of either 50 champions, which is going to take you, I mean, theoretically, yeah, you could go load up Vox Obscura, hit the 2 outside champions in about 60 seconds and do that. Do I want to load that up 25 times just to do I want to do 20? And it's only going to take me 30 minutes, but I'm efficient and know to do that. What about the relatively newer player who jumps in and doesn't know that they can go run Master Vox Obscura with a couple linear fusion rifles, nuke 2 champions from far away?
I mean, like, if
how about the player who doesn't know what a champion is?
That's what I was about to say.
It's not explained anywhere in the game. It's not explained anywhere. Like, it's so bad. So much of it is bad.
Like, I need to kill 50 of what? I've never even seen one.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even, like, let alone they don't know Vox Obscuras where you can farm them, but they don't even know what it is and what other activities they even appear in.
Yes,
like,
you don't know what a champion is, but you know the activity you're supposed to do. So you load up Master. You know, you don't know that there's no matchmaking, so you go in by yourself. You just get destroyed by, you know, a whole bunch of super high-level people, and then you go, well, I don't know if I'm playing the right video game. That would be your experience.
Yeah.
You know what? It was just such a weird ramp up from last week's requirement.
I mean, yeah, they've all been just
like, it was
quick.
just like,
yeah,
like I can understand even if, again, there's a part of me that empathizes with wanting the player base to do master content.
Get that.
But there's a part of me that's like, at step, what are we, 3? like there's a part of me that's like, yo, you could have at least put that towards the last step and conclude the joint. But like Trav said, the verbiage was so bad. Because again, if you would have just said, do master catch crash to complete this kind of thing, then maybe that helps a little bit. But they gotta do better with this. Come on.
Here's another criticism I have of this method. And I think it's one that we don't talk about enough, and we should. Let's normalize talking about this. But here's what I have to say. What is the story reason for me killing 50 champions? Why am I doing that? Did Misrax, he requires me to murder 50 people to talk to his daughter? Is that what this is about? It feels so disconnected from the story and the things we're doing that it really irritates me.
And to your point, they've actually had strides where in story content, they'd be like, you know, such and such needs you to go gather the essence of such and such, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, it kind of makes sense to kill this.
I'm putting out a call. Bife, I want a video explaining why I killed 50 champions this week. I want you to explain the deep lore implications that I just don't understand that involved me killing 50 champions. Make it happen, buddy.
And it's a shame because I know it looks like me and E are the only ones that got a chance to do it this week. This is one of the better story moments they've done in a while. And we were complaining, rightfully so, prior to this, like, yo, this story is kind of, well, this is like, forget breadcrumbs.
Little
This is like half a saltine cracker each week about what's going to happen with the damn fallen. So you hit me and you like, yo, story this week. And I'm like, okay. And I'll get into it. But yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's... There are going to be different takes over this. Some are going to say, you know, the game's too easy. This isn't that hard to do. Some people say it's an MMO. You should have more time. Some people are saying I have a kid and I don't have the time. There's going to be a lot of different perspectives over this. But I think in relation to a story beat, lack of communication over where to go, what you need to do, what a champion is, and just I think this was a flawed week in the story quest. And I think most people could probably see that there are flaws if you can consider all the perspectives of players that can come from this one. That being said, once you got it done, we did actually finally get that full serving of food on the plate. They're like, here's your amuse-bouche appetizer once a week, and then now it's like, here's your entree. Like, the whole plate got filled up, and honestly, first off, we knew Aramis got thawed by the witness. She got... And, you know, we've heard her over voice chatter.
Am I about to get spoiled?
You are about to get spoiled, so it's up to you. Would you like to
plug your ears?
He said he's spoiling.
I can't not talk about this one.
I'm coming back in 5 minutes. Goodbye, sir.
Okay. So yeah, spoiler. If you haven't played it this week, heads up. I'm going to give you a little warning.
I never see Edith aggressive with spoilers. Okay.
No, but the main reason is this is what we've been waiting for. So that's why I do want to cover it. And for one, we knew, we had the preview video for the season to say, hey, at this point, at some point you're going to see Mithrax and Aramis like literally cross swords. Like that's in the trailer video. We know that's going to happen at some point. Spoilers and stuff, so be it. But we've like the fact that before we even got a cutscene, I can say we got a cutscene, but before we got a cutscene, the 3 NPCs standing in front of me are 3 people you couldn't have told me like 2 years ago. That we're gonna have these 3 people standing in front of me having a conversation, and they're like, "What's the Guardian here for?" And the Guardian's here for your protection. And I was just like,
"Gangster."
Okay, now I'm just gonna grab the popcorn because this is gonna be great stuff right now.
I literally got in the popcorn emote. I was like, "Go ahead, talk that talk."
Yeah, and it was, and we got to know some very spicy details about the history of, for one, the relics that we've been picking up each week, where they come from, the history of the Fallen, which we did not expect, the history of Mithrax, and guess who told Ido? Not Mithrax, which Spider told him not to do. He's like, I'm warning you. You should tell her. You should tell her. He didn't tell her. And Aramis dropped the bomb in a pretty sick cutscene. And we also got to figure out what's been going on. Beautiful
Ebontis cutscene.
Oh, I know. I love the little ink block
cutscenes. It's like Bungie. I know we had Bungie on the show, but it's like they've really been listening to you with these cutscenes. Continue.
This is, and then we got to figure out, the Fallen. You had the lunar pyramid, the tomb of Nezarec. You've got the delicate tomb exotic now, which is even more tied into the story. The relics and the power that they had. And then we got to see the dark side of the Fallen that we think are good and all that. I'm kind of getting the general gist of it, but where did you guys hit after this one? I'm just kind of going a lot to digest, but where'd you guys land? Joe, I'll take you first.
Do you want the hot take?
Hot take as usual, yes. Hot take to start.
Would it be DemonJoe without the hot take?
Dude, I just, if it's not an expansion, I'm gonna be honest, I just don't really care about the story.
Really? Okay.
Like Witch Queen, I was dialed in 110%. And whenever they release these seasons and they release like those cutscenes that you were talking about, I'm in. I think it's cool. I remember Saint 14's cutscene in Season of the Splicer.
Oh, yes.
I'm sitting there. That's like one of the most memorable cutscenes for me. But like mostly like these seasons just involve me standing there looking at other people talk, and I'm just very disconnected from what's going on. So from what I've seen, it's cool. I'm just not invested in it like I was with Witch Queen.
I respect. Witch Queen was masterpiece level.
Love the Witch Queen.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's peak Bungie. That's where us as Destiny fans can go to any AAA game fan of another genre and say, "Oh, you don't think we have a story?"
Yeah,
and I'm with you there. For me, this is like, I just love the world building, so I'm always a fan when they're doing this kind of stuff. But you made some good points, DemonJoe. I think you're accurate there. Look, this was big. We got a lot of Fallen lore. I'm gonna be honest with you, E. It was so good, I lost respect for Mithrax.
Oh,
and I was liking son. Like, I was really liking him. And it's like, bro, like, Spider told you, when you gonna tell this daughter of yours the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's telling you, like, and then she's like, yo, you not telling me something. What's up? And we finally have the moment and we get the history. I think for me was the big reveal was that shout out to Idol for not. I thought she was gonna go harder on him after she found out about his past.
Just left, yeah.
She just left, and you felt it. You're like, oh damn, damn. She did what she did. You know when the girl do the walk out, the silent,
and
mad.
She's just disappointed.
Disappointed. So it's just like, okay, cool. And now I go front though. There was a part before all of this happened though, E. I thought Aramis was gonna break code. I didn't trust Aramis. I thought Aramis
with the parlay.
The parlay, because the parlay is fallen tradition. Yep. We meet. There ain't gonna be no violence. We gonna have to talk. But I was like, well, what if she's corrupted by the darkness? And she like, yeah, gotcha.
I mean,
put the knife in the heart. And you go down.
Definitely could have been possible. Yeah,
right.
I could see that
because that's the only time I was with Mithrax in the beginning. I was like, yo, you can't trust Aramis. You don't know what's going on, whatever. But see, his real emotions, like, he didn't want her to know the dirt. His dirt. And he was out here bodying and slaying and doing things. This man, he's like, He gave me Saint 14 energy, but on a whole nother level. And
yeah, it's because he's one of their own. It's worse.
Yes, and you murdering your own, and you bodying people for these. Right? Then we found out as a warlock something I've always wanted to know, because I always like warlock Nezarec Sin helmet. You know what I'm saying? When you see Nezarec, I got that that nice little arc glaive. You know what I'm saying? Nezarec.
Yep.
All my Nezarec stuff is some of my favorite things, and I'm like, oh. This is what this is, and this is who this is, and you find out about him. Nezarec was a disciple of the Witness, and at one time, and these were the relics. So I guess in a sense, are we farming the tomb of all these?
Yeah, I mean,
ancient
these are
powers of
all
this?
like basically body parts of a disciple of the Witness, and it's kind of the power that's giving them power, but also corrupting them is kind of what I gathered.
Right. So it's almost like we running around with rope parts.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of where it's coming from. Is that's the same idea?
Yeah. So it's interesting. I would love to get more information on Nezarec. I feel it's a very interesting character. The time period, the whole thing with the Fallen. It's great lore building. It's great, for people who care about that stuff. I think it, like, for the lore nerds, like, this is one of them episodes.
Yeah,
for everybody
sure.
else, they may not, appreciate it that way. But I liked it. To be honest, I like the Fallen. The Fallen have a very interesting history because at one point they were with the Traveler and stuff like that. And yeah, it's going to get spicy now. I want to see how this relationship is going to happen, because I lost respect. He's still, like, even after you got busted, he's still with the, not lying, but like not wanting to tell the truth. And she's like, yo, you should have just told me. So I don't know what's going to happen with that, to be honest. So I'm very curious, but I thought it was excellent world building. I want to see where this goes. I want to know the fate of Ido. I'm still worried about her long term.
Oh no, that's the point. Like, every Guardian's about to throw their body in front of Ido to protect her.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, don't you touch Ido. Don't you do it.
I'm a little nervous though, because I mean she's getting tougher though. Because before she was just way too naive, but yeah, it was good. It was good. It was good. But again, Mithrax, damn, bro, not like this, bro. So
we can bring Travis back because spoilers are over. But yeah, I mean that's kind of the weird thing when I wonder how I will look back and rate this season on pacing, because you'll have crouton, full on salad fills up the plate. What are these other 3 weeks going to look like? I will be here for next week. I will be gone for week 7, but I will be back for the finale. So at least the timing on that one works. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of curious where we go from here, because at some point, obviously, we're working on gathering the relics, so Aramis can't.
Yes.
Depending on whether she gets one or it's going to be a fight over a final one. Do you think we're going to kill Aramis? Do you think us or Mithrax or somebody, do you think Aramis will survive this season?
I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that I think she's can't be killed. Because I mean, literally, we've killed Quarria the Warmouth.
Yeah.
But we could Quarria the Strike.
Yeah.
So I mean, they have done it before. I would be surprised. Let's say this. What I'm hoping for is the same way we're doing like this motley crew of ex-enemies that are now friends. I would like the Witness to have his crew. Callus, Aramis, and whomever, because I want there to be like a hierarchy. Probably out there. I'm thinking Endgame. Like, I want Thanos to have his Dark Order, right? So I want them like Aramis. Okay, that's Lieutenant 1. We got Callus. We see Nightfall. He got his goons. Like, I want it to be like it's on. Like, he's amassing an army, and I like this history of the past army that the Witness had at one point. And I do want to know. I don't know if they've explained this. How did Nezarec got beaten? Did they explain that?
No, I don't think, because I even was checking out Mylan's video. I don't know, because they mentioned where he was, the tomb, but I think it was more just, it was his tomb and they like discovered him, but I don't know if we got a history of what happened. What happened to him. I don't know if that's in there.
I'm very curious about that, the past collapses and all that other stuff. And then also the reason why this is fighting me, because let's be honest, we all know Savathun ain't. You know what I mean? So
I know she's going to be one side or the other. I just don't know which.
Right. And my prediction or my hope is she comes in her own selfish way because she is a Guardian now. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I'm dying to see what this whole thing.
Well, yeah, because you're gonna have Caiatl and Callus.
Yes.
You're gonna have Savathun and Xivu Arath. I'm thinking about opposite sides of the coin. And now, what do you have? Mithrax and Aramis? Or so you have those three, and then you have like the Guardian versus or the Traveler versus the Witness, and we're just the one tipping the scales per se.
Yeah. Going to be interesting to see where they go with this, but they nice world building towards. Obviously, we had the legendary Farmsworth on from Bungie, and the way you explain it, these seasonal things kind of fit in pocket, and then there's still that long-term tail for the expansions. That's where we get DemonJoe back. That's what Demon going to be tuned in. Going to be all the way live.
We'll get Joe back for Lightfall. And going to be like, all right, story is fire. I was here for every minute of it. I was there. I recorded it.
I had that esoteric video on right before launch. I'm caught up, and then boom.
Yeah, it's like it's been. Yeah, and I think it does feel like that's what we're building towards. I'll just be kind of curious on the delivery to, all the pieces in between. As we said, like, the seasons after Final Shape are going to feel weird. I want to ask you that, Joe, because you're here for the big expansions. Like, more so, at least. I mean, obviously, you're still playing.
Yeah, like story-wise. Yeah. Story-wise, I'm here for the expansions, yeah.
So I've asked the other guys before, and it's like, nobody has a great answer, because it's all just like, what is seriously going to happen? But my question to you is, like, how do you feel... Yeah, spoilers are done. Good. How do you feel, say, like, Final Shape drops, expansions fire, things happen, whatever, Witness, and who knows. Then you get season 25, 26, 27. What do you think is going to happen? And are those ones where you're just going to be like, going to take a little break? Or because it's like, it feels like that's such a big thing to like happen.
I have a theory for this one, but go.
I don't know. Like, I mean, obviously it's going to depend on how they end up ending off this light and dark saga. But like, I mean, Destiny's sci-fi. So, I mean, it's quite literally just an unlimited space of just anything that could exist and anything that they could just come up with. That's like, oh, this is a threat to Earth or this or that. Or I don't know, maybe we have a season where like, yo, let's go try to colonize this planet. Oh, wait, there's like a enemy race there that we've never seen before. Boom, this huge war breaks out. So, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that they could do. I think it's just going to kind of like just boil down to just random adventures out in space, go colonize a planet. Maybe there's some secret enemy race that we've never seen before that's there. Or, maybe we got to go to this, like, I don't know. It's so weird because like all we've ever seen was light and dark like this entire time ever since Destiny's inception. And, for a while there, it kind of felt like Bungie was just kind of making it up as they went. Like, who's the Traveler? I don't know. We'll figure that out. And, it's all we've really known. And so whenever light and dark is over and we got the light and dark saga, it's gone. It really could just go any direction. Trav probably has way better speculation than I do because it's infinite possibilities. I have no idea.
I do have way better speculation. My speculation.
Yeah, objectively better speculation. I'm waiting for it.
Objectively.
My objectively better.
Literally the best. My speculation is that they're going to use this opportunity to really switch up what Destiny is. And that new form, the Final Shape, will be a game with turn-based combat and dating sim.
Oh my God.
And
the Destiny dating simulator.
It will be a dating sim. Because when darkness and light
are... when Caiatl has to... Or Zavala tries to court Caiatl.
That's what I'm saying, guys. No, my actual theory about this is that not much is going to change. Because if you think about it, you said, darkness and light is all we've known. Not really. What we've known is a million different stories that have nothing to do with each other that they go, oh, but it was darkness the whole time that was doing it. And so all they're going to do in the future, besides pet a creepy dog, is dogs are so creepy looking. All right. The snout.
You're
the long
creepy.
face. There's something about the long face that bothers me.
Dogs are wonderful, sir. So yeah, you can...
well, okay.
Ego fight you.
They've eaten a lot of people. I think that the only thing that's going to change after the Final Shape is that they're going to have to stop shoehorning it. They're going to be able to, I think it's honestly an anchor around their neck, the whole darkness and light thing. I think when it's gone and they can stop connecting it all back to this big evil and just tell self-contained stories where you're going around the universe and solving problems is already what we're doing essentially. It's just now they have to feel like they tie it back to like this big bad and they can stop doing that. So I think it's just going to be the same game, less doom and gloom, like, oh, it's all one big thing, the guy behind the curtain that we're waiting to pop out, less ooga booga cog, I'm hoping, and we'll see.
That's kind of what I was saying, because like they've just been making it up as they go, is what it's felt like for the longest time. So so I see where you're coming from. It's basically going to be the same that it is now, but bad guy does thing cause bad, not because puppet master behind the scenes that we've never heard of until now, just because they made him up just right then, he's been doing this since Destiny 1. You guys just didn't know about it.
Honestly, if you take out some of the context around Savathun, her story is kind of the closest we get to like a self-contained, doesn't really have much to do with Darkness and Light story. I mean, it does. Obviously, Darkness and Light are at the core of who Savathun is and how she became who she is. But like, if you think about it, she's sort of doing her own thing, and it's not so much about the Traveler or like the big bad. Like, she's acting on her own, right? With her own motives and her own stuff. And so I think it'll be a much better game when they can stop being like, oh, and Callus was also just like stop. Let him be his own thing.
That's probably that's what I'm saying. That was the objective point of view. I was right.
So yes, if you haven't played the story and the champions should be fixed, you should be able to enjoy the cutscene. At this point, I think I'm just going to be curious how this season kind of puts a bow on what we've got. Some final clash, something going wrong, a kidnapping of Ido, and Mithrax has got to try and like get her back. I don't know. Like, he's got to try and get a couple brownie points back in his column to like risk his life to save Ido. As a dad probably should. Maybe it's something like that in the end, who knows? But I was like, and then we get through that, and then we've got 7 more weeks, basically 2 months until we get the lead into Nightfall. So I'm still not a foggiest idea what 19's going to be, but this week definitely did a lot for me to have to add some points into the story for this season, because before that I was like, all right, we got some questions. I got nothing going on. So now we got a big info dump. So now I'm just kind of curious if they can land the plane come the end.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I think that this was the week finally. Because the first two, I'll be honest, I was like, "Damn, this is." I didn't want to talk bad about my narrative team, but I was not happy at the first. I was like, "This is super light." Like,
see,
I was really, not interested. So
I think
this was the week. I'm like, I was expecting this level of stuff. Sorry,
no, you're good.
But like every week, you know what I'm saying? So it was just like, because they were in a good pattern, and it's the first time I honestly felt they were regressing. I was not happy with the first time. I was like, all right, I'm doing this, but this is not that interesting.
We had even like Season of Chosen, I think, is like probably where that like snowball started to like roll downhill and really picking up steam, because you had Saladin talking with Crow and Zavala in the tower, and the projections coming and going, and it's like, and I know as Joe said, it's still the seasonal like watching projections talk, but there was still more meat on the bone than we had.
It was kind of more fresh back then too, because they had just started that.
And then this season was just like a couple projections and Spider trying to screw you over with some engrams, and it wasn't much going. And it wasn't much
of a Spider.
And again, he's going to be on the other side. Like, all right, Spider he's probably doing some weird behind the scenes puppetry. Who knows? But yeah, it's going to be
another creepy guy behind you.
This is Enzo.
Little intruder right there. Yeah.
Hey, let's see the creepy face.
Do you want to be on camera, bud? Hi, bud. This is Enzo.
It's my favorite.
Mr. Enzo. He's our big guy.
Snout. Crazy dude.
Look, I can
Schnauzer.
Like you, like I can't even put my hand in his mouth. Like he's like, no.
Why would you want to put your hand in his mouth? I'm confused. Why was that your objective?
It's more just proof they're not going to do anything to you. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, it's a flex. It's like a guy who puts his head in a crocodile's mouth.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, cool.
No, it's just a nice dog, not an evil animal. But I'm going to go let my dogs actually outside because they seem to want something because they're trading off who wants to.
They keep moving.
Yeah. So what I wanted to ask, I'm gonna get this topic of conversation going. Story this week, fire. Definitely check it out if you haven't. The other thing that dropped this season, which I know we're gonna have some opinions about, Master Kingsfall drop. Joe, what do you think, bud?
This is gonna leave me the floor.
It is.
So I haven't done it, because here's
he
the
comes
thing,
back
right?
and the podcast is banned. His YouTube channel's been taken off.
Why not, Joe?
I haven't done it because it's like Bungie doesn't want us to do it. It's like we've been giving them the same feedback since Master Vogue, and then Master Val came out, and then it somehow got worse because weapon crafting versus adepts is not exactly a good trade-off. And then here we are again, Master Kingsfall. What I will say though, the only thing that I know of that is an improvement is that you can get red border drops from buying weapons from the spoils chest. I have a buddy of mine that was doing it. I've seen some other content creators peddle the idea, talking about it. Apparently, unlike with Vow of the Disciple, if you dismantle or complete a red box adept weapon, it counts for the pattern.
Nice.
So that's cool. Not cool enough to make me want to level up to play it though.
That's not going to put you over the edge to test your might against Oryx?
I'm one of those guys where I'm just like, just give me contest mode, man. Like, like day one raids are like my favorite piece of content in the game. And I did DSC, I did Vogue challenge mode, I did Vow within the first 24 hours. Subtle flex, just tiny bit. Tiny flex. And then for Kingsfall, I was world's first 669th fire team. So pretty insane accolades right there.
No doubt.
But master mode, it just seems like, this is how they're going to try to incentivize people to do bounties or to do their pinnacles or whatever. It's like, here is something, here is the reason why you need to power level, but we're not going to give you any reason to actually do it. Like, you need to power level to play this content, but there's not really anything good there for you to get. I feel just like a broken record. Like, we've been talking about this since Master Vogue came out. The criticism has always been the same. It hasn't changed, except with Vow, when things got a little bit worse because of depths and crafted weapons. Yeah, right. I'm not gonna pass up a enhanced incandescent on a Zali's Bane so I can run big one spec. It's just not gonna happen.
That's not a big enough trade off.
It's not. It's not. And then but Master Kingsfall has a Sparrow that's worse than Always on Time. Can't wait. Oh, and I think it actually also drops a ship, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I heard it drops a ship.
It drops a ship, so it's got some loading screen cosmetic, and then it's got a Sparrow that's worse than Always on Time. On top of weapons that are worse than crafted weapons, on top of armor that I can just get from the helm. Like everyone and their mother nowadays has at least double 100s on armor. A lot of us in-game players have triple 100s, even some people with quad that I've seen from Umbral Engram focusing. So, like, what's the point of the armor? It's not even artifice at that.
I was about to say, what about if they say, if we play devil's advocate and we're like, okay, we've been complaining, right? But like, what do we do to actually fix it? That's within reason. And to Travis' point, doesn't kind of like, I would say break the game, but like keep it within the realm of competition, so to speak, and incentivize going for the challenge.
So I would like to see, as far as armor is concerned, I would love to see it drop Artifice armor, but not the traditional Artifice armor that we get from dungeons. I would like to see Artifice armor that actually gives us more energy instead of just the 10. And that coming from a master raid makes the most sense, right? You do a dungeon, you get a little taste of what Artifice armor is. You do it in a master raid, and then you can take full advantage of it. They give you 3-5 extra energy so that you can actually make these crazy builds and stuff. There's a reason to do the master raid. I mean, for that alone, I would do it, right? Obviously, that's not everything I want, but that would be great. Another thing I'd like, just get rid of master mode. You heard me complaining about power leveling. I don't like it. No one likes it. I don't know anybody that does.
Contest.
Just do contests.
Yeah. What about challenge? We can't get challenges, though, DemonJoe.
You can do challenges on
yeah,
contests.
We can take the take
you
the challenge.
No, man. Okay, so you want power leveling out of there. You
right? Because I
think
think if you're a good enough player,
out of it.
if you're a good enough player,
level 2 draft.
I just say like don't even make me reach a power level. Just if you're gonna make all the enemies 20 power higher than me, even after I grind, then why don't you just set me 20 power below them? Why do I have to do the
nobody who is skilled at the game should be limited because they're not AFKing XP on the moon or because they're not doing bounties or anything. If you're good enough to do the content, you shouldn't be gate kept by being like, like we said earlier, go run those Vanguard strikes, go do Gambit, go do Crucible, then you can play the good content. Make it contest mode, throw in a raid memento. I don't know why mementos are so, they introduced them. Everyone gave them overwhelmingly good, feedback. Like, yes, this is really cool. And then they just haven't made anymore. Yeah, so like in the GM Nightfall memento, it kind of looks butt ugly. I'm not gonna lie, but the Gambit and the Trials one are pretty cool. So throw a memento in there for the King's Fall. You could make it like a takenify your weapon. Imagine if your weapon had the taken, shader kind of effect on it. That would be sick. Everyone and their mother would be running that to try to make their weapon look like that. So raid memento, artifice armor with extra power. And then for the weapons, I don't know. I've seen some people say Adept should drop with enhanced perks. Again, though, if that is the case, you're still only getting an Adept Big One spec. If you're a PvE player, as the bonus for not crafting. So I don't really have an answer for the weapons, without feeling like I'm absolutely excluding casual players from really good loot. But I feel like you need cosmetic rewards. You need to cut the power leveling bullshit just out of the game. Just stop doing that. Make it contest mode. Maybe apply like a really cool emblem to it so people who don't do day one can still feel like they did contest mode even if it wasn't on day one. So give them a special emblem for that that's different from day one so you don't upset the in-game players. And just throw some cosmetics in there. Give some upgraded artifice armor. And one thing I will say, just like with Prestige Leviathan, where you had an quote-unquote upgraded version of the base armor, it had just a different armor effect on it, similar to Age of Triumph. Do that. And it doesn't even have to be the Age of Triumph level, it could just be as simple as a holographic color scheme, or maybe the Taken stuff that we were talking about, just something cosmetic where if someone's walking in the tower, you're like, oh man, that looks sick. That looks sick. And I want that, D1 had a lot of that. D2, it's kind of like a lost art at this point. If I see someone in the tower and I'm like, man, I want that, it might be something from Eververse more than it is something me earning.
You're not wrong.
So maybe that's the suggestion. Instead of power creeping, instead of suggesting more armor power, which I think is a terrible idea, just what Destiny needs, right? More power creep. I would say maybe they should just revise the system that allows for more freedom with how you spend your armor points, rather than restricting it around the subclass that the armor is, or the elemental type, or the fact that it has to be equipped to certain slots of armor and all that dumb stuff. So I think there's a lot of things they can do, but I just wish all of you guys who are about the loot people, which is insane to me because I think the problem always has been that the content isn't fun. Otherwise you guys would be playing it without reward, like you do most games. And I would just say that if you're on Team Loot, then they could probably take a little bit out of Eververse if they want you to play their activities rather than giving you nothing or breaking the game with power creep weapons.
I mean, if you're scared of power creep, like I think everyone can agree that cosmetics are a big driving force nowadays for in-game play. I mean, it was in D1. You had trials shaders that you could only get from there. You had the Age of Triumph ornaments and stuff. Like if you don't want to power creep, you don't want to make the game any easier than it already is, which you could just kind of, nerf resilience by half and do some other stuff too. But if you don't want to add anything that's more strong, then add cosmetics. Add the raid memento, add an emblem, add a sparrow that's actually on par with always on time. Where are we at with the sparrows? I don't know.
Where are we at with this?
Where are we at? It's been this way for too long.
Horns. What happened to those?
Horns, dude. Give me a horn.
Give me a horn. Make master raids or horns a master raid exclusive.
I agree.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you guys remember that bug with Golgoroth that would absolutely kill your eardrums? Make it a horn. So if I beat my Sparrow, everyone in the patrol zone just gets absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, I want my horn to be Varix going, Hexus! The betrayed! You know, a max volume.
All right, I want
destroying
mine to
my
be
ear.
like the upended.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy to say the upended every time I've passed.
How is yours not something Osiris related?
You don't say nothing crazy though. Actually, Osiris's best acting was when it was Sabathun, to be real, and that's my man. I got to keep it around. Like it's one of the greatest stories, and it was at the expense of my man. It was kind of funny. So
Hot take though, Osiris was not the problem with the Osiris story content.
Yeah,
He was a good actor. His cutscenes were cool. It's just the content.
the content was terrible.
That opening cutscene in Vault of Glass.
Yeah,
I love
Segura,
that.
dude.
Oh, bro, I
Yeah,
had chills when I saw
That was great.
Segura,
That was
wish
the
we-
best part.
yeah.
I would have crushed my own ghost in my hand if I could get Segura as my permanent ghost.
You know, I
Easy.
Still
Wouldn't even have
Segura.
hesitated. Could've
That's
just
my
been-
permanent in-game ghost.
Yeah.
I did everything in Curse of Osiris. I
Dude,
needed to have a Segura.
God, that'd be like, I know it would cost them a lot of money, obviously, because voice acting, but it would be so cool if like your ghost shell would have a different voice, and like Segura's voice actor, if you had the
The
shell
Eververse
equipped.
voice pack for Phil and the
Yeah.
actor or whatever.
Yeah, dude,
It's
let me
all
have a
Drifter,
Snoop
all-
Dogg. Let me have a Snoop Dogg
Yo,
ghost.
dog.
You
Guardian
know?
down.
Like the little eye is like a little red, you know, because he's been smoking a little bit of that, you know,
Oh,
ether.
shout out to Seth,
my
Alex
God.
Ducci. He said SRL. SR. We've been avoiding the elephant in the room too. That
Well, I
SRL.
mean,
You
that's
want
not
to play
coming back.
SRL?
I wonder how many times you guys talked about Sparrow
Doesn't have to
recently
come
here.
back.
Way
You want
too many
this?
over the
Way
course
too
of
many
it.
times.
Yeah.
You
Man,
just go. You
I'm
go
gonna
to.
AFK
You open
for a
up.
second.
You
Okay,
open up
okay.
a game called Destiny 1.
Mm-hmm.
You click on private matches, SRL. Have a ball. So
Is it in Destiny 1 still?
Oh, it
wasn't
sure
like-
is. You can play it in private matches.
Really? I never knew that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never knew it was a
Yeah.
core component. I thought it was only a limited time. Oh, that's
Want to
cool.
play
Hey, there you
SRL?
When we bringing it back, you know, I still got the merch.
Got the merch. There you go.
Mhm.
Go
That's
play it right now.
fire.
Invite some of your friends. Open up the app.
We had 30
Invite them
frames
to a
per
private match
No,
and
thank
play
you.
our SRL tonight. Do it
30
tonight.
Right
frames.
now.
No,
Do it
thank
right.
you. But I'd like Destiny to bring back the content that they made.
I wouldn't
Easy
mind seeing
default.
SRL in a little higher frame rate, you know?
Yes.
Little
The
on-
true content vault was whenever SRL. That was the OG content vault when that went away.
OG.
Still
Mhm.
there. You can play it.
Well, I mean, in like, you know, I can count the pixels on my screen in 30 FPS. I mean, sure, you know, but we need some competitive SRL. You know, if you're not gonna make the Crucible competitive, make a racing game in Destiny. That's what I'm saying.
Sidebar, I have to ask all of you this, and it's completely unrelated but related. Overwatch 2 is overriding Overwatch 1 when it comes out.
I think I heard that.
Because it's the
There's
same
a
game.
way about that. My question is like, even though I'm clowning Destiny 1 for the frames, but it's Destiny 1. It's like Travis said, it still exists. You could go in there right now and play. Like, Trav, like how you feel about overwriting a game where you can't play the original no more?
I think the problem is that Overwatch 2 and Overwatch 1 appear to be the same game.
Yeah, I can't tell the difference if I'm
I
watching
really
gameplay.
can't tell the difference. But game preservation is a real problem. I'm glad Destiny 1 got to stay around. I don't think Destiny 2 will if it ever gets replaced. I think it will also be gone because it was not built to stay. And you can just look at the content that's available to you. I mean, it's less than half of the content we've gotten over the course of its existence. So it is a troubling trend, and it seems to have affected live service games particularly hard. And I hope that Bungie uses its power as one of the first successful live service games to set a good precedent for how you preserve your live service game, because I think there's a good opportunity for us to go the right way or set a terrible precedent that results in people not being able to experience a game after it's gone, which is unfortunate.
I'm curious because I saw this was tweeted out the other day. What do you think? Paul Tassi said this. He was saying, what if Bungie came out with a Destiny 2 standalone experience that had all the content vault stuff?
Oh, that's
in
what
it?
listen, my co-host would come back from
he'd do it in a heartbeat,
He would play. That's why he doesn't want to play Destiny. He's like, Cog, it sounds amazing when you talk about it. He was like, can I play from the very beginning to the end, like how Red War came out? And I was like, well, Red War don't exist anymore. Which really don't exist. Where's that? It's a content vault. That's why he's like, I want to continue his story, and that's literally why he won't play. And I know some people that they really like it, and they want to get into it, but it's a hard sell. And then they're like, well, why? I paid for it, that kind of thing. But I didn't know Tassie put that out, so he said,
I don't know how viable it would be to make like a standalone experience.
I think on the show, when they announced the content vault, I had theorized that it was going to be a separate app where you just play offline content that's not in the live game.
That would have been sick.
Yeah, I was like, why don't they just do that? Like, you bought the stuff; it should be in a. You should have like a DRM archive of the stuff that you have access to. But I don't know if that. I'm guessing they had bigger fish to fry with their live service model. I do think Bungie cares about preservation of their stuff, and you can see it with how much stuff they bring back, and the fact that they've kept D1 on a lot longer than they probably have been required to. But I think it's probably not the top of their list right now. I hope one day they tackle it though, because we need it.
It's it kind of makes me think of like World of Warcraft Classic or whatever it was, where it came and it supposedly like had all the same bugs that the original one had, and the same really like grindy.
Didn't fix the bugs. Yeah.
Right. Like I wonder if like as time goes on, they come out with a Destiny 2 Classic, and it's just like Red War, Warmind, Osiris. It's got some of the seasons, you know. I wonder how that would work.
All the cutscenes.
No, the cutscenes.
All the cutscenes, because they're seasonal cutscenes you can't see anymore.
Yeah. And like, I mean, do you make it multiplayer for like the raid content, or like, you know what I mean?
I would say probably like private only.
Yeah, like private peer-to-peer. So, you know, I don't know.
Something like that. There's probably ways to do it. But I think we do need it at this point. And I would love it if they put the D1 content in that package as well. Just make it accessible for one app.
And to your point, Trav, salute to your former co-host at Fire Team Chat. I actually would watch Destin's content because he would actually record all those cutscenes.
He still does.
I know because
season he did it at my house. All the footage you recorded, he was like, "Hey, new Destiny content came out today. Can I play on your Xbox and record, or on your PC and record it?" And I was like, "Yeah, go ahead." So,
that's dope.
Yeah,
that's dope.
But yeah, he funny. He's like the collector.
Yeah, he's like a historian.
Yeah,
I love it.
Historian of Destiny
historian.
Because there's some moments you can't get back. Forget Red War. Just like seasonal stuff, big moments. Think about the events where what those type of events where it used to form around the world, and
live
it would
event.
be like
like a
live event. Yeah, like you can't see that anymore. Like we've experienced things that a group of players will never see. And there's no way to find it unless you look it up. And that's why I like that he did that. 'Cause I was like, oh yeah. Like just even like with what's his face when Saint 14 came back, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Or the Drifter, where you had to choose to side with the Vanguard or the Drifter.
Like ever amount to anything.
Yeah, they forgot to write an ending to that one. But
I forgot about that. Yo, we did. What was the effects of that?
Dude, there were cutscenes in that season too, where you were like going and visiting the Nine, and there were some kind of like shady stuff going on. You're like, what's happening? And then they were like, anyway, Savathun, have you? Yeah, didn't go anywhere. Actually, no, it was anyway Aramis. It went completely
anyway,
beyond super weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean that's that. At some point, I'm with you guys. At some point, I hope they find a way to collect what has been lost in the stories and the seasons and things of that nature, and find a way for you to maybe download it piecemeal. Maybe you want to download year 2 and play through the story in case the content's too large, but some archive place where you can go at least experience it. Maybe it's not updated in a certain engine, and maybe that's something that, like, when Final Shape comes out, that they're able to kind of polish enough of it up and release it as like a separate entity where, you know, go pay this and it's just like an archive, and some, you know, small team in the corner of Bungie is working on polishing all that stuff up so it kind of all runs on the same engine, because depending on when it released, you know, Beyond Light upgraded lighting and they keep doing stuff to it. So if it all runs evenly at some point around Final Shape, maybe somebody could experience, because not being able to experience, you know, when you lose your light at the beginning of the Red War and then the Forsaken campaign, when you have those couple of moments, I mean, our history with Cade obviously stemmed a lot from D1, but still, like, you have, it's so weird to go play a strike and hear him talk and stuff and have no relation to who is this dude? He's dead. You can't figure out why though. And you're going, that's weird.
Yeah. They should make that, and then none of you guys will play it because your eyes bleed when you don't get 60 frames because you're a bunch of pain.
Max, dude, that's what I'm
Bunch-
saying. I don't
bunch
care,
of-
dude. I don't care how bad the graphics are. I need good frame rate, bro. I can't.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
I do.
You're just a,
I
you're just
do.
a whiner, dude. You're a whiner.
need
This
that.
is
You're
like
damn right. Have you seen
Yeah.
my Twitter account? That's what I do every
Yeah.
day. I'm built for this.
You built for this whining?
I'm built for whining. I was complaining earlier today.
Bro,
People
that
were
is-
getting on my case on
Talk
Twitter.
about it.
Yeah.
I
Talk about
This
it.
guy,
tweeted.
everybody,
The best content creators are whiners. Let's go.
I tweeted. Dude, I tweeted.
Demon
Okay,
Joe yells at his waiters. I think that much is
Yes, I
clear.
do.
You can just look at
Yeah.
his.
I'm built different. They talked about in the patch notes today. They were making some changes to the Daughters of Oryx, right?
Oh, let's get to it.
And they were like, we fixed an issue where the Daughters of Oryx were taking extra damage from rocket launchers and other sources.
Mhm.
And so, well, I had tweeted, and I get it, right? It's a bug. They were like listed as vehicles or whatever instead of boss enemies. So, you know, it's a bug, right? I guess. But I said, Bungie must have viewed the Daughters getting baked by rockets as trivializing the encounter, therefore they removed it. Yet the Riven cheese lives on. At least the Daughters encounter was encouraging something that wasn't linear fusion rifles in this raid. And I don't understand the reason sometimes. Dude, the reason I don't like Last Wish nowadays is because every encounter can be solved with a sword. The reason I'm starting to not like Kingsfall is because every encounter, and it's not Kingsfall's fault, it's just kind of the meta. It's just you use the same loadout in every encounter, every time. And that was the one encounter where you would just, you could use a rocket launcher if you wanted to. Use a rocket launcher, div, galley, you could switch it up. It's a fast little fun, fast-paced encounter. And I liked it, But when I see them fix something like that, but we have like one of the coolest mechanically driven raid bosses in the entire franchise.
Actual.
And it's still not fixed. Or they keep, they do the thing. People on Twitter were like, well, Joey, it's not a cheese, And I'm like, well, did Bungie make all those mechanics for you to intentionally not do them? Like, did they make the mechanic?
Never done Riven legit. Ever.
Right. And what I can say is I didn't get 1K stare until I did Riven legit. So I will stand by it. Because I cheesed Riven my first 2 times playing, and I'm like, you know what? This is really lame. I don't want to, clip her toenails. I'm going to do the raid, So we did it legit. I got 1K stare, and since then, I am a legit Riven simp. Although I will say, that raid has aged so bad, you don't even get to do all the mechanics at this point, because she has so little health. Even if you do it normally and shoot her in the mouth, she dies before the encounter. So it is what it is. It just kind of, earlier I was saying I got into Destiny because of raiding. It just makes me sad to see that the older raids in this game continually just age awfully, and they don't update them. They leave them just feeling bad. Every boss dies in like a few hits. Riven don't even need to do her mechanics. And then it annoys me to see that they're worried about the Daughters of Oryx, an encounter that kind of has a benefit to being done with rockets because it switches up the monotony of always using linears. But Twitter got mad at me for that. Twitter always gets mad at everything. It is what it is. So,
Spicy take there.
Spicy take. I'm sorry. Bad guy over here.
You good? You good?
No, but that was,
Switch to you, E.
that was kind of part of the whole hotfix thing today when you're looking over, Daughters taking extra damage from a rocket launcher. And I was like, okay, so just linears everywhere. That was literally my first joke too. And it was probably, I don't know if it was the same time or I tweeted to somebody else. And it is the idea of, I know some things are easier to fix than others, depending on what the coding is, things of that nature. But also, again, do all things need to be changed? Because, hey, bring a rocket launch in here. It's fun. It gives you use to your Gallahorn that you guys paid this whole 30th anniversary for. You want people using the wolf backgrounds, which is kind of a fun way to do it. Somebody does that. Gives other people a reason to go find good rocket launchers or go check their vault and see if maybe something's in there. And then, yeah, you go back to linears. But yeah, if I'm using Arbalist and I'm using my Taipan half the time for like the whole raid. And you can do that for most of the things, except I use Thunderlord in the opening because it just melts everything. I was doing that the other day on totems, and we were just going normal.
Oh,
and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be dunking like 35, and they're like, how are you? I was like, I just killed everything. I don't know. Like, Thunderlord is amazing right now. I love it, but it's just not. It's only okay for DPS. But yeah, Taipan when it comes to shoot the things in the spot, and we were talking about that last week when it was boss design.
Yeah.
There is a point, hopefully, when it comes to future raids and things of that nature, where we get a different style of boss where it's not shoot in large crit spot, which is where Divinity, has its obviously crutch moments. But then it's like, what if it's split into like 20 things and you're like, okay, everybody take like a section or something, everybody work on your little guys. Yeah. Divinity wouldn't do you any good.
They need Divinity. Most gamers cannot find the crit spot.
I
think you're talking about half of the gamers. Half of the gamers can't find the crit spot.
That for the first time ever, I've been Divinity bitched. Because we had to run 2 people through my clan that just joined, and they didn't really have any of the meta stuff. And it was just like, yo, just hit this spot with what you got. And I'm like, yo, this is that's like the for the casual to kind of help out the crit spot. But it's funny you said it. I'm like, I've never had to do it until like the past week, like exclusively for the whole raid. I'm like, oh damn, I'm Divinity bitch. It's crazy. But it's funny you said it. But continue.
You were born for that role because your DPS is so bad.
Shut up. I won't. You know what? It's funny, Trav. I gotta keep it real. I disrespected it when the crew told me, "Come put on Divinity, bro. Don't worry, we'll get it done." You put.
Dude,
I'll be honest, dude. I'll be honest.
Like, just check the scoreboard at the end. Be like, all right, everybody, stop for DPS.
It was an ego thing for a minute. I was just like,
I'll be honest, dude. I kind of like it when they tell me to do Divinity because I'm like, yo, I don't need to be out of here sweating in this easy ass PvE activity. I'm just gonna be chilling with my Divinity.
You know the
keep
nice
that
thing
bubble
about
up.
Divinity though is that's when you can throw on like Galahorn to blow up some ads or a big elite or something. You get to use the other, well, maybe not that, or rocket launcher. You get to use not double exotic, sorry, but you get to use a rocket launcher or a shotgun or just weird stuff because you are, you're not focused on that, specific. You have a different job.
I was good though. I put empowering rifts down. I had my I was full support. I was throwing blessing grenade, healing grenade.
Absolutely.
So I was like, all right, I'm helping the
team.
It was crazy. We weren't doing the encounter. We were failing. And when that switch went down, cruise through the rest of King's Fall, no problem. Yeah. So I was like, it did work. It did work. Shout out to Matt. Yeah, I was doing. I see you good.
One of my biggest wake up calls with Divinity was that it was after Val came out, and I remember like our team was like really like trying desperately to get the one phase on Rolk, and whenever I had to swap to Div, that's when we got the phase. Dude, I felt like shit. I'm like, bro, I'm the reason we're not getting the damage.
Bro, it's like an indictment, and I'm like, damn.
I was like shit, dude. I'm like, but I chose not to look at it that way. Yeah. I chose to look at it. I'm just so
You're just really good at diving.
Yeah, really good at
so good at diving.
It's really high skill.
Insane. Like my tracking, it's ridiculous.
That bubble never goes down. Not on my watch.
Top tier.
Top tier Divinity users.
Top tier div, dude. You say it takes no skill, you never met me. I'm just saying.
Exactly, bro. I had the straight rifle reserves and the scavengers on.
Oh yeah, I got those mods. Those casuals don't have those mods. You got to be hardcore with those.
Hell yeah.
Oh man. They did actually tease us a little bit that Festival of the Lost is like somewhere coming up. It's probably going to get teased next week. Joe, are you excited?
More like Festival of the Lost my interest. Am I right? No?
No
one?
Oh, yes.
Festival of the Lost Sectors is what it is now. And I'm gonna be honest, and I'll go low easy on Bungie here. I think they're kind of fun. It's just that I don't really like the loot. I know that the weapon that's coming out with Festival of the Lost is gonna be a sniper. And I don't know if the perks have been leaked or not, but so far we have like the Braytech Werewolf, which is ass. We have Horror Story, which is kind of ass.
Couple of rifles,
yeah. And then we got Jurassic Green, which is okay. It can work. And then now we're getting a sniper rifle. It's like I think the haunted sector thing is kind of cool. I like it a little bit more than the haunted forest, which might be a hot take, but it's just like yeah, they're lost sectors, but it's like different variety whenever you hop in. It's kind of like a battleground sort of deal. They reuse assets, but they kind of do it in a fun way here and there. But it gives variety, and I think it's kind of cool. But the
I don't think it's a hot take to like that better than Infinite Forest, dude.
I don't know. I said that one. Well,
was
then again, it's Twitter. I don't know.
It was a playable loading screen, bro. Screw that mode.
Yeah.
They were showing off that feature. Remember when that feature dropped? They were so proud.
Dude, they were like, it's like a roguelike. Every room is procedurally generated. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Well, I remember that presentation, that reveal, like it was yesterday. And then at the end, we got the two blues.
Yeah.
It's like, look, and everybody was like,
and Deeds is just kind of like, it's gonna be more rewarding than that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was a classic stream, bro.
Yeah,
it was damn. My man is
Bungie they literally exposed themselves on their own reveal live stream. They're like, yeah, this is gonna be worthwhile. You're gonna get so much loot from that. Two blues. Deeds is just sitting there, butt facing the screen.
And a blue.
Okay. Oh, a token. Yeah, as a token. The token. Yeah, the token really sold it. I bought Chris of Osiris right then and there. I saw that token. I need it.
That's it. That's what did it. So put you over the top.
Oh yeah,
2 tokens in the blue, baby.
Because I loaded up Chris of Osiris and I got only 1 token and no blues, and I was like, well, I'm quitting Destiny.
That's false advertising, bro.
False advert. Yeah,
I think we could go class action with that.
Oh, you want to be my lawyer? You look kind of like a lawyer.
Yes.
It's racist, bro.
Race what? This is defamation. I'm gonna sue you.
You
with what lawyer?
Background and the fact that you wear suits. You're.
Well, this seems to have fallen off a bit of a cliff.
Sorry, E, about the channel monetization today and the cursing. I apologize.
That's
the fans.
Part of how the podcast thing goes.
It's okay.
If you've actually listened to,
you're just gonna have to send him a check, cover up that YouTube money he lost.
I got you, bro.
I will say, if you've listened to like Skillup's new podcast, the Friends Per Second one, they
go left.
They've dropped a few in there, and I'm
they go left.
As long as you don't do it in the opening, YouTube doesn't care too much, so we're safe at this point. If you make it 2 hours in, you're like, yeah, it's kind of what I signed up for. It's fine. But I wanted to ask you guys, kind of at this point, Festival Lost. We got a couple more weeks of the season. We've already got Raid. We got Master Raid. We're not getting a dungeon this season. Got a pretty good wide stretch of time here before we get to season 19.
I hear Grounded is pretty good.
I heard that too. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I've heard some positive things, but I can't quote the source right now. It's not public information.
That's right.
But
yeah, I'm probably gonna be chilling. I'm gonna play Iron Banner. I still gotta get my second reset. I gotta do that. So
yeah, I gilded that already. It's like I'm done there. So I was gonna ask,
what
are you guys planning to do for like what do you guys do in the later part of a season when you look ahead? It's like what does that look like for you guys?
Yeah, to me it's just the chase for stuff that's eluded me right now. I got to go back into Dares. I've been trying. I got to get that BXR with an incandescent. I got to get that what you call
good luck with that, dude.
Baby.
Good luck with that, man.
But I will say though, salute to them on that dismantling counts towards the pattern.
Oh, just raise that. Raise that capacity like 25K or something. Like, dude,
bro, huge help, because them patterns be rough. And then I'm like, you gonna force me to play with this whack, version of the gun and go like I was just like, come on. So I love that aspect. But yeah, it's just a couple of things that have eluded me. The pulse from Caiatl's the dungeon duality dungeon. I still have not gotten the damn thing to drop once. Every time I finish it. What you call it? King's Fall. Same thing. Was it Smite? Once I fill in the gaps and then I do the story, it's kind of what Travis is like. What's up with that Grounded? What's up with these other games? And then I'll be back. You know what I'm saying? Because after that, it's really and to help the homies, obviously, we need a 6. We need this. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? I'll stop what I'm doing or whatever. But that's really it. I've learned now, like, I'm not gonna go super crazy and burn myself out once I got what I want. I like to prep. Like when 3.0 came, I'm like, okay, he's these weapons. I watched some DemonJoe video. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so these are these things I need to prep. Okay, yeah, this might be a good look. This might be popping for the next, season when this comes out. But yeah, that's it. Once I get those kind of things, the drops I want, I'll be pretty good. I'm not interested in festival. They gonna have to really wow me, and I just don't.
Which
You don't want that
free
seal.
event, so-
You don't want that seal for doing all of the holiday events.
Oh, Reveler, whatever it's called.
Bake cookies, sell candy, open up a thrift store. All the stuff that they make you do for all of the different seasonal activities. You don't
Dude,
want that seal.
I'm
They're
gonna have
just
my
making
lemonade.
a title for everything now.
I think
Yeah.
it's called. I think it's called.
Reveler.
Reveler.
No, it's seal of the too much time on their hands. I think is what they called it. Is that
Oh,
what
well,
it
that
is?
might be it too. But that's Teddy in general.
That's the
right?
internal name.
Yeah,
Like my thing is, I find my own fun with the meta and the loot and the weapons. That's my fun. That's my game within the game. But the stuff that they telling me to do sometimes, nah. Like once I get that story and okay, I'm more excited for Nightfall. I want it. My thing is, how do we get there, right?
Mm.
And I'm gonna be honest. Yes, there's a bias. I'm Team Osiris. I'm a Warlock. How the hell is he even involved? Because they are hinting. This is not a spoiler because you've heard this, Trav, where they've said, hey, they keep mentioning Saint. Hey, he's thrashing around. He's trapped in his sleep after West Side. I just want to know, like, okay, how is he going to be a major player? Because to be honest, I thought my man was completely written out. I thought maybe that voice actor, that was it. The 10 years done. But no, he's in the artwork for Nightfall. So I'm just like, okay, he's going to be a player. How does this work? So that's really it for me. But I'm curious about you guys. Moving forward, what's the end game? What's left for y'all?
Well, my only end game is I got to have all the exotics and I got to have all the catalysts and all the weapons. Like I try to just keep I want to be able to move with the meta and have all the stuff. And so I think I've got like one more catalyst to finish and then, I've got all the exotics. So I'm pretty much wrapping up. And then after that, it's just going to be me writing about Zur every Friday. For a while, logging on to tell you about Zur, and then I'll be chilling, playing other games. I like these periods, to be honest, where it's like low pressure. You don't have to log on every single week. You kind of can play at your own pace, and then check out other games. I'm a busy guy when it comes to video games. Other stuff, nothing going on, but video games got a really busy video game schedule.
Yeah, between the end of Q4 and Q1's gonna just be crazy. But
yeah. Oh, and I forgot the Trials Arc Shoddy. I have to get that.
Oh, I need that
I
bow.
heard
want
great
that.
things about that Shoddy.
Heard the
Almost
shotgun's
best
pretty
in
good.
class.
If you like
PvP.
slugs, I am terrible with slugs. But man, that bow there's some perks on there. I want many options of the bow.
What the bow got? It's a kinetic one, right?
I think so.
Yeah. It's got kill clip, it's gut shot.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh.
I think you can, if you proc kill clip. I saw somebody make a case for that bow being bad, and the case is that you can one shot people with the bow whenever you proc kill clip, and you're like have some kind of damage buff, so like you're radiant or you're in an Emperor or whatever. But someone made the point that you could just get a Whispering Slab with Swashbuckler, throw a hunter knife, kill somebody with the knife, and then just one shot. Yeah, so it's like it's just a different way.
It's the same archetype as Whispering Slab?
It is a lightweight.
Yeah.
Is it? I think it is. I'm looking.
I don't know if they're the same.
I don't remember
or
what
not.
Whispering Slab is. This is
Whispering Slab was the Arrivals. So Whistler's Whim is the Trials one. That's a lightweight. Whispering Slab is also a lightweight.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So
it is the same archetype. Ooh.
So
Yeah,
people were saying you could just do Swash on the Whispering Slab and you'd be good.
Oh, okay.
But you've got Alacrity. So if you're gonna run a bow and anything solo, you've got that
you
reload
love
stability. aim missiles.
Alacrity.
You've also got
Vice. Your
Vice.
favorite perk now.
But yeah, it's like you want to know what's funny about, and this actually is like I don't want to take the podcast longer. We'll do this another day. Is like Alacrity, something that either helps you as the last player on a fire team or a solo player. I put out a video and a tweet about like freelance should be permanent. Man, did I have both sides of that argument go to
for you?
both. I mean, some were very for, some were like, this is like I just can't agree with you. It was just a very interesting.
It came
watch.
after my boy.
Yeah. But it was like, it literally says, or if you're the last living member or running solo. So like you're literally designing the perk to help solo players, and freelance is there sometimes. But I mean, I got my 7 wins this past weekend, My issue was when I had matches when it was like not a 3-stack versus all solos.
Oh yeah, we know the deal.
Those suck, obviously, but when it wasn't those, I had a good time. I even tweeted, I was like, I lost a match 3-5. I even recorded it for the video, and I was like, I lost a match 3-5, but I had fun. It was 0-3. We came back 3-3, and then they dropped 2 quick ones, but I had fun playing because like everybody's kind of, and it's always going to be a little bit of chaos. Maybe you have the god on your team, maybe you don't. Maybe it's just kind of a little bit even. But the randomness of freelance for solos, it's really the only way that mode like works. Because man, when it's not on, it's painful.
That perk that makes you stronger when you play alone. I think that they should lean into that because Destiny is sort of a different game when you play by yourself. And a lot of people like to play it that way. And I feel like there's not enough perks to build into that sort of game type. Like it's kind of hard to, you have to go out of your way to like make a build for, I'm going to be playing this alone. My only caveat is if they make that more powerful, you know how they have the status effects on the bottom left-hand screen that blink.
We need to be able to see those.
I want it to be on, and I want it to say you are lonely.
Oh my god!
So that you're more powerful, but I just want it to be a reminder that you're
physically stronger, but mentally they're knocking you down.
Mentally, emotionally, you're
They kind of toyed with that with Crimson Days. Get drifted apart. You alone. Get back together. I kind of, in a stupid way, I kind of miss Crimson Days because it was a PvE
Me too.
mode.
It was the only PvE event. And they took it away from me.
And I used to play. I was like, yo, get the homie, you know?
Yeah.
It's
shout out to my buddy Kevin Babbage. His gamer tag is the Mistaken King. He was my number 2. Yes, the Mistaken King. He was my number 2 in Crimson Days. And that was the first time I was ever called a sweaty tryhard. Is playing with him. Somebody messaged us both to call us tryhards because
those are great.
We were stomping people to get that chocolate ghost, my dude. Stomping people.
Hell yeah.
This is back in the
reward. It was like, what was it? It was like a bow, the beloved. What was it called? The vow? What was it?
Yeah, it was. I can't remember. But yeah, I got that too.
Yeah.
It's the vow.
Yeah, I used to keep that. Oh man, I miss it because
that was a good bow.
Yeah, it was a great foundation, and they just don't need to expand upon it. That's all. I miss it. Give me some PvP seasonal events. I know that's.
It was also an
interesting anti-meditate.
It was also an interesting variation PvP mode, which is another thing we are desperately lacking in D2. So
no, the reason
bring it back, Bungie.
Speaking of bows, like the reason I want this bow is if you can.
Yeah, why?
If I could ever get the perks, like if you got Masterwork of Draw Time, which doesn't even change the stat on D2 Gunsmith. If you get Elastic String, charge time is now down to 500. You can get Compact Arrow Shaft with +10 to reload speed. You've got Vice Stinger, which could add to reload speed. You've got
what's a Vice?
Yeah, and you've got Archer's Tempo and Rapid Hit. I want to just see what happens with all of those on a bow. So I'm just like in PvP, like think.
Yeah, you bow guy. Yeah, yo, shout out. Have you tried Wishbringer?
What?
End game content?
Have I tried what?
Bro, Wishbringer right now.
Oh, I made a video on it. Yeah, Wishbringer's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was actually one of the patches where it actually should be more reliable on its hits now. No, Wishbringer's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you don't run out of bullets. Yeah.
Advertising my...
Yeah, I know. Yep.
Get your little...
I just got to get the word out. I got to get the word out.
That's the website, man. Come on, man.
Gotta get the word out. Check me out, guys.
Check me out.
Some good stuff on that YouTube channel.
So this is Travis.
You know what's funny?
This is side business. This is where he makes all his money.
You know what's funny is I clicked on one of those just to see, like, can you click anywhere to get to it? You can't click through, and they don't have a YouTube channel. Yeah, you have to copy the name and paste it. So it's like, dude, I can't even if I want to check out your chat,
so much effort.
Whatever you're advertising, I can't even do it. This is false advertising. Class action.
Class action.
There we go.
Well, man, this has been a fun episode. Sorry, I had to step away a couple times to take care of the doggos. But Joe, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you on, sir. Fun chat. You are welcome back anytime because this was a blast. So
Dude,
I like a fellow hot taker. You're always welcome. Yeah.
Dude, I'm always talking shit on Twitter, so you know that's what I do for a living. I make people upset, and then I mute the tweet, so I don't got to see what they got to say.
Oh, you one of them lob the grenade and throw dudes?
Yeah, throw the grenade and that's just that's how you filter out the internet. You just throw the grenade and see who doesn't react well. And be like, trim it out.
I'll tweet and then I'll let the notifications stay there for an hour so I can see what my followers have to say. And then whenever it starts trending and a bunch of people just start seeing it that don't follow me and they start attacking me, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll just go mute that, go on without my, through my day.
Yep.
I'm not a Twitter warrior, man. Like I'll put out a hot take, but I'm not going to sit there and fight you about it. Who has ever had their mind changed on Twitter? Like 5% out of like, maybe 5% is too much. That's probably a high number. So, I like to give my hot takes, but I don't like the consequences. So I just, lob a nade, walk back.
Away. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Dante, lob a grenade the Warlock way.
Yeah, that is true.
Be disrespectful.
I was going to say, so remember, hashtag is he was one. We'll have to bring it back. But Joe, at this point, we want to just kind of open the podcast to you to let everybody know where to find you, what you do, all the things you do, what to expect. Floor is yours. Tell them what you do and where to find you.
My name, DemonJoe. I make YouTube videos about loot in Destiny 2. Only PvE stuff, only stuff I'm really interested in. You can find me on YouTube by searching DemonJoe. You can find me on Twitch, but probably not for long, at DemonJoe. And then you can find me on Twitter at DemonJoe TV. And if you want a ginger content creator with some spicy takes, as spicy as his hair, then I might be the guy for you.
Guys, DemonJoe, man. I found your content. Told you, I was like, we gotta have this kid on. Love the analytical approach. You really break things down in a very concise way. Continue. I'm sorry.
We have a lot in common, Cognito. I respect that. A fellow looter, bro. There's not many of us around. It feels like
it's a lost art these days. People
want to play lost art. We're playing a looter shooter, dude. I'm in it for the loot. I feel like I'm exiled nowadays.
I know. We're shunned. We just got to fight through it. It's a very unique skill set that we have. No, but all jokes aside, I love the content, love the approach to the game. I forgot to ask you, why in the hell DemonJoe? I was meaning to ask you that.
Oh, did you really want the story?
Real quick, origin. What
if he opened with, well, I'm a Satanist. And...
Well, yeah, so basically, right?
That has been.
He was the one who started the Church of Satan just to mess with the other side.
Okay, so it goes back to my dad who got me into gaming. This is really cringe, by the way.
I'm here for it.
So basically, 11-year-old me, right? It's like Christmas or something, and my grandfather gets me a laptop. Now, what does every 11-year-old do with a laptop? Not what you're thinking. They download Minecraft. They download Minecraft, and what do you need to play Minecraft? You need a username, And so my dad is like, I had my only other name up until that point was on Xbox Live, and it was the cringiest name. It was XX Joey Jr. XX. I was one of those people, one of those X people. I know. I didn't even make the name. My dad made it. He was like,
Joey Jr.
He made me. He's like, so your name, we're gonna make your Xbox account Joey Jr. Oh, that's taken. We'll just put some X's there. Anyway, for
lowercase X, uppercase X, Joey Jr. Upper, lower.
So shout out to Dad.
So for Minecraft. Again, he went to make my name, and he was just snowballing, spitballing some names and whatnot. And he was just thinking like, okay, so what if we took something that was kind of badass and just something stupid? And so the first ever name was DemonJoe, like the toe of a demon, DemonJoe. That is still my Steam account name. Whenever I log in, it's DemonJoe, and then I put in my password. But that was my Minecraft name. And so I'm 11 years old. By the time I'm 13 or 14, I start getting invested in YouTube. And I'm like, I am not going to be called DemonJoe on the internet. That is the stupidest shit. So my name is Joey, right? So DemonJoe. I'll just change it to DemonJoe. Flip it. Make it DemonJoe. And so the demon has nothing to do with Satanist undertones. I just want to come clean. I want to come clean.
Okay.
So no Satanist undertones, but
that's exactly what a Satanist would say.
Yo. It was a name that my dad made, and originally there was actually another word with DemonJoe. I only changed my name like a few months ago to a year. It was actually DemonJoe France was my original name, and that's because. And you're like, well, why would you add France to the end of your name? The reason, my great grandfather was like a full-blooded Frenchman who immigrated to the United States and then married an American woman, had my grandfather, had my dad, had me. And at the time, as a kid, there were so many content creators that I watched that their names, they had just like 3 standout letters like in their logos. And so I was like, I wanted that. So DJF.
DJF.
Right.
Okay,
and that's what my original logo was. It was DJF. I thought that was the coolest shit.
Yeah.
And I just added France because I'm like, a family heritage comes from France, DemonJoe France. And so then later on I just removed the France. It didn't make any sense. I kept getting asked if I speak French and I can't take it anymore. So I had to take it off.
No doubt. I'm glad I got the orange. It was worth the whole navigation right here.
There's a whole lore book. The Book of Sorrows, the Book of DemonJoe. There's a lot of lore.
Shout out to Scarrow 9. He said, bro, is that DemonJoe?
Is that the Scarrow 9 that kicked my ass in trials a year ago?
Yes, sir.
That's when I subbed to Scarrow on YouTube. I'm like, I think this guy's a YouTuber. He swamped me in trials one day, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll just go tell him GG, I followed him on Twitter, I subbed to him on YouTube.
He said, nah, man, that wasn't me.
yeah, he's capping, dude.
He capping.
This man is capping. He had the sight rampants, dude. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Do you ever have people who recognize you as DemonToe? They're like,
no one recognized me as DemonToe.
Well, everybody who's listening now, go back into DemonJoe's chat and just call him Mr. Toe.
Yeah,
Mr. Toe.
We're bringing it back.
Bringing it back. Yeah, it's the resurgence of the toe.
The toe, bring it back. April Fools, DemonToe's return. I'm just gonna tweet like a silhouette on Twitter, and it's gonna look like a foot, and just like the highlighted. It's just a highlighted big toe with a question mark.
I'm done.
April Fools comes.
Salute to the homie, man. Good stuff, man. Good to have you at the campfire. It was fun.
Dude, Travis, do you have anything you can tell people, or is it still very embargoed?
Yeah, I'm embargoed, but I can tell you that Grounded comes out on Monday, I think, and I think my embargo lifts on Friday, but I'm not going to be ready for it because IGN insists on all of its reviewers beating the game to completion. It is a good rule. I follow it.
I respect that.
And this is a very, very long survival game that I'm already 100 hours into. And
wow.
I'm probably going to take most of the weekend to finish it. So
I haven't touched it yet. I'll be curious to jump in.
Yeah,
it's pretty. I have to admit, I was going in with pretty mid expectations, and it has far surpassed what I was expecting. So, anyway, I'll have that up sometime next week. Along with a tips for playing Grounded. If you've never played before, I'm going to make a tips video this weekend. And I think I have a preview next week, but you can find my content on IGN.com. Follow me on Twitter at TyGuyTravis, and you can watch Bitcast.
Yeah, that other little hot podcast you wanted.
You can watch Bitcast if you want to see me hang out with people who are more famous than me. And Dan.
And Dan, you had to do Dan like that.
And Dan. All right. But yeah, that's good. I'm glad to talk to you guys about Destiny. I need to go play the story after this. Now that I don't have to kill 50 champions.
Yeah.
I hate that you was able to avoid.
Yeah.
Dude, it's beautiful. Beautiful. All you have to do is tweet lol at Bungie and they will auto complete it for you. If I've learned anything from this week, it's that is this.
Yep.
One tweet, and then a couple hours later, they're like, "We changed it for Travis," and I'm like,
"Sorry, Travis. We really sorry."
Yeah,
sorry.
And see, they're already feeling the wrath. They're feeling the wrath of it right now because this episode of the Last Word podcast sponsored by Grounded.
Right?
Destiny who? No,
there you go.
That's right.
Sponsored by Grounded.
Deleted.
Cog.
Yeah.
The Last Leaf podcast now.
The Last Leaf.
The Last Leaf. We're changing the name.
Travis is trying not to cover his camera right now.
Why?
That's ridiculous. Look,
we can still have the last word about leaves. We don't have to change the name.
Yeah, man. It's been fun. So to DemonJoe, yeah, same old thing. At LordCognito on Twitter. Every Sunday is the Lord's Day. Catch us this Sunday. Probably got my man K Asante roll up, talk about all the latest in the gaming sphere. I think one of the topics, I don't know, King's going to do something. Sachi that Della did something and King's going crazy. So I don't know what I'm preparing for on Sunday with my podcast mates. So I got to see what that's about. And salute to Mr. Matty Plays. Go check out some Defining Duke, man. Got some fun content. Yep. Got some fantasy drafts and got some other
Go hit that $5 sub to the Last Word Patreon. And please check out their fantasy episode. That was... It was funny to watch them stab each other back a couple times.
It was fun. Draft. I got grounded as one of my draft picks, and the rule is.
So yeah, what can you explain?
So here's the rule.
Game to me?
All right, so pretty much what it is there's a pool of all of Xbox releases from now into 2023, right? Well, there's a whole pool of Xbox releases. So your job is when you draft, you have to say, okay, I'm going to pick this game because I think it's going to have a very high Metacritic score, right? So you get points for whatever the Metacritic score ends up being. You get bonus points if you predict the release date. So obviously with Grounded, I'm not going to get any bonus points because we know when that's coming out, right? But then there's also fringe games like Avowed, Hellblade. If it comes out, you could score big. You know what I'm saying?
So it was like 50 points if you guess the right month or something, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like there's 10 points, and then it's like 10 points to guess the correct year, and then the the 50 points if you guess the correct release month. So it's basically accumulation of the Metacritic score in conjunction with when you think it's coming out. So it's a game because like you could pick something that could theoretically have a great score, but if it don't come out, or your opponent guesses the correct month of their game. So it created this little in-game fighting, and me and Maddie were going out. It was absolutely hilarious, man. He made some. I think he beat me. I think he made some really strong picks, but then towards the end, he got too fantastical, in my opinion. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go safe. You thinking that Xbox gonna have all these releases?
If he hits his guesstimations, like if he hit 100 out of 100, like if he batted 1,000,
they're blown out. Yeah.
Xbox would have the best gaming year ever in all time in one calendar year. It's ridiculous. But I will tell you, I will buy him 5 pizzas if Fable comes out next year because it's not happening.
No way.
Bro, if you see his release cadence,
no way.
It is Xbox's field of dream. Grown men will be crying at E3, tears of joy with the greatest Xbox.
Oh yeah, it was like September, October, November, December, and it was just like
you gotta see this release. It's worth the price of it. And I'm like, man, okay, you let me creep back in because he started strong with his first couple 3 picks. I ain't going front.
Yeah, he got 4s. I was like, the guy who hates racing games actually picked up, so he went smart. After that, he went full emotional, and I was like, oh, you just lost all of it. But yeah.
It's a fun one.
Like Fable, we're not even going to see Fable next year, so that's fine.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it. What about you, E? What's going on? Streaming, playing? What's going on?
Yeah, so I'm going to be, I'll warn all of you guys, we will be here next week on the show. Both of you guys here next week?
Yeah, I should be here.
Okay. Week after that, we are going to try and pre-record something because most of us are not even going to be here. I'm going to be out of the country. We'll have a week off, but I will try and post something both to YouTube and audio, so you guys hopefully still see something then. And then for me, just kind of keeping up with the story, keeping up with the guides. I want to play some trials since it's freelance and bonus rep this weekend. And just kind of keeping up with YouTube and guides and streams. And then kind of as the story wraps, my goal is to try and get into Forbidden West because I do want to do that this year.
Oh, you're doing it. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I definitely want to do that this year because if I wait too far, the timing, I guess I got to see where everything falls. If I can get it in before maybe God of War or something, I got to see where my timing's going to fall. Now.
It'll be Ebontis plays retro game Forza Forbidden West.
Retro game.
Yeah, retro. So, nope. Yeah, just kind of looking forward to it. It's just, things are going to keep getting busy as the holidays and everything are coming. But yeah, for now, just keeping up with the week and trying to see what I can do in trials this weekend. That's all I got. Joe, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for the ridiculous wrap up we had there. But it was very fun to have you on as kind of hot take as I expected, but just the right amount of hot sauce on top there.
A little bit of seasoning, I try to bring it.
Well, he hates that. Don't be talking about seasoning, sauces.
See, I hate these two because they're so lying. They're so lying.
Don't do it, man.
I kind of want to believe him though.
No.
It's true. I don't eat boiled chicken. That's disgusting.
I believe it. I believe it.
Favorite
All right,
food.
Joe, you believe it. We'll let you at that one.
I'm a believer.
For episode number 216, thank you all for hanging out tonight. Chat's been fun. Co-hosts have been fun, but our guests, thank you for the time. But for this one, it has been the last word.
The Last Word podcast.
You know, I remember you sent me the thing in the document. Forgot about it.
You good?
Yeah, we're